Hello there, my brothers. Oh dear, I appear to have a bit of a bloodshot eye. It's a bit strange. Oh well, never mind. How are we doing, my peeps? Sorry, Donny. There can only be one commander. There can only be one commander per stream, and it is not you today. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lucius, you are the commander for the very first time. How do you feel? How do you feel? What I need to do actually is at the top there, you know, as we're streaming, or maybe somewhere down the bottom, I need to make a commander of the stream thing and just edit it every stream. It'd be wonderful. Why didn't you play Lego Star Wars? Donnie, I said I would play Lego Star Wars after I'm finished with KOTOR. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. When we're actually very near the end of KOTOR now, so a couple more weeks, and we will play Lego Star Wars. Don't worry. Dan, how you doing? Welcome. Lucius, how are you? Donnie, how are you doing?
Hello there.
Chansey, boo! Hello. How are we doing, Chansey? Hope you're doing great. All you did was walk into the room. What did you do? I have no idea. I have no idea. I think actually it was I think it was getting bad when I actually got out of the shower anyway. So I don't know. I don't know. Probably staring at screens too much today. I don't know. Hi Ollie. Hi Dan. If this was Discord, I'd do many angry emojis. Nice. Yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry. You'll be warned by Lenny. It's wonderful. Path, how you doing? General Path Obe. Welcome to the stream. How are we all doing today? I've just been clearing my PC from unneeded files and games today. Hashtag responsible. Absolutely. Absolutely. You should always be hashtag responsible. Especially with computers, because you can make them last longer if you look after them. It's wonderful. I don't even know what to do as that, and I'm probably going to leave soon. Beautiful. I don't even know what to do as that. I'm probably going to leave soon. No, basically, Lucius, whoever types in the chat first is commander. All right, that's just like a Ugandan Knuckles meme. All right, so whoever types in chat first gets commander. That's literally it. That's the game. Oh god. You remembered to rinse the bleach out, right? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Don't worry about it. It's nothing to do with that. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I could feel it. When I was making my coffee, I was like, ah. I hope your eye gets better soon. It should be fine within an hour or so. Probably like after I finish streaming, it will clear up straight away. Definitely by tomorrow. It's nothing bad. It's just like, ow. Yeah. How you doing, Path? Hope you're doing great. But yes, Sarah, I did remember to rinse the. I did remember to rinse it out. Don't worry. So it's kind of like bragging rights. Basically, yeah. So when Uganda Knuckles was a thing on VR chat, they always, as well as they were always looking for the Queen, they used to like highlight one of the Knuckles in the pack as the commander. That's basically what it's after. So don't worry. It's a bit weird. It's a bit quirky. It's very much my channel. What can I say? Exclamation point! Path is not dead. He's right there. Yeah, I'm good. Just on the way currently, coming back from extra classes. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I hope the classes go okay for you. But yeah, you don't need to worry about anything, Lucius. Like, I'm not going to make you do anything. It's just a fun thing we do at the beginning of every stream. Yeah. You are the commander. Yeah. Hey, Starsome, how are you doing? Welcome in. Hope you're doing great today. How's things? We're doing something a little bit different today. We are going to be doing emotes, which is actually a lot of fun. As you guys know, I make a lot of commission work off of emotes and stuff like that. I don't post them to Instagram very often. I really should do, but I always wanted to actually create a brand new account for them because I don't think they fit in very well with my actual art account. So I've always thought about doing that, but yeah, you guys know already. Obviously, being on Twitch, I make a decent amount of money from commission work doing stuff like overlays, which is all the stuff that you see around the screen right now, sub badges, emotes, all that sort of jazz, panels, which you can see down below, all that sort of stuff. So I thought it'd be a fun idea, considering I know a few of you also stream. If we go through together, maybe step by step, we could learn just how to do different bits on stream. But yeah, Emotes is up first because it was requested last week. Evelyn requested it, and also Rose really wanted to do it. I think there was a few other people as well who were really interested in learning, from start to finish how to go about it. So I thought, instead of doing a regular study stream, we're going to do this for today. But yeah, honestly, I think the thing is with the study streams, it's like I've said this numerous times before, it's probably my least favorite stream, as well as the fact that it's difficult to keep coming up with ideas for it. Sometimes it gets a bit repetitive, just doing body figure, background, all that sort of stuff, which was kind of cool last week when we did the textures. So if you haven't already, guys, go and do the texture study. We've put up the new ones this week anyway, but we're getting to the stage where actually the last almost 4 weeks, other than past texture study, we've not really been getting any entries or anything like that. So I'm speaking with the reps, now. Obviously, Chance and Dan are in here. Also, Mira and Karina are in the private chat as well. Whether we continue on with the study streams, I don't know. Whether we turn it into something else, that's a possibility. It will be art related. We'll definitely make some sort of we'll do something art related in regards to it, but we may carry on if people start picking up again. Maybe even if it's just like, let's say we have a couple of months break from the studies so that people can get a little bit regenerated and they want to get a bit more passionate about doing it again. But yeah, we can look at some different stuff. Maybe we can look at some different programs. We can look at some of the free programs which you can get for drawing. For those of you that don't have stuff like Photoshop, we can look through some of those. We can do all sorts of wonderful things on Mondays. It's not an issue. It's totally up to you. If you want to do some animation, maybe we can do something like that. Obviously, over the course of a fair few weeks, it's totally up to you. Yeah, I actually love this week's study, but my laptop is acting up again and I can't draw anything. Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the background or the one of Mira's figures? Obviously, slowly we've been kind of getting rid of the study groups, because people were, let's say, for example, not really doing the face and the hand ones as much, and we covered it all on stream, so we got rid of those. Now we've just got the body and the backgrounds. Maybe for, let's say, a month or two, we can switch Mondays out and they can be, let's say, artist collaborations. We could do art collaborations on stream. So if you guys have got, obviously I came up before saying stuff like, I don't know, draw your own Jedi kind of thing. Anything like that, hit me up. If you want to do something like that on a Monday instead, we can certainly do that for a few months. Obviously Harleen's Pride Month collaboration is finished, which was awesome. Great to see everybody getting involved with that. But yeah, background study. Okay, the background study I posted. That was quite cool. I did quite enjoy that background, and I think it was a nice little. Well, we did quite a lot of let's say, we've done a lot of very natural landscapes, and we've done a lot of very man-made building sort of landscapes, both indoors and outdoors. I thought this one was a nice one because it kind of combined the two. But yeah. But yeah, let me know what you think, chat. What do you think? Do you think we should take a little break from studies on a Monday and maybe do something else? A little bit more fun? Because they were starting to drag me down a bit as well. Honestly, because I don't know, I just stopped having fun with them, to be honest. Like, they were great at the beginning when lots of people were, getting involved and doing it. But of course, like, everybody's starting to go back to work now. They're going back to school. Like, people just don't have as much time. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Should we do some collaborations? And if so, make sure to put them into the Discord. If you've got any ideas of collaborations that you want to do, and we can figure out a way maybe to do those on stream. Yeah. 8 wonderful people in here. Lots of wonderful people in here. What's going on, guys? What is going on? Yeah, I guess we could switch to something else. I'm not saying necessarily that we're gonna finish it forever. But all I'm saying is probably we'll just take a little break, and then maybe we'll come back to it in a month to something like that. Is that an artist club? Absolutely. Lucius, you've been here the whole you've been here for several weeks now. Have you? I always wear the glove. Always. It's like part of my identity. Even with the Pokemon collaboration that we did, we drew ourselves as Pokemon trainers with our favorite team of Pokemon. Even on that, I had the artist glove on in that piece of artwork. It's like a part of my identity. Never take it off. I went down to, I think it was last week, we went down to the train station to drop off Sarah. I took her stuff for her. And I totally forgot to take it off. So I was just walking down the street, and halfway down I was like, oh shit, I've still got my drawing glove on. Even when he's not streaming. Even when I'm not streaming. Because to be fair, half the time when I'm not streaming, I am still drawing and stuff anyway. Can confirm he accidentally leaves the house with it on. I've been zoning out immensely this stream. That's how hard it is for me to wake up today. That's okay, Lucius. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Go grab some coffee. Go grab some coffee. I'm sure you'll be up and about in almost no time. Almost no time. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe you'll be asleep for the whole day. Maybe you will. You know, just hopefully you won't have to go to work with it, but you know, just grab your duvet and wander around the house with it for a little while. You know, go to sleep on the table. It's a wonderful life. It's a wonderful life. But yeah, so we are going to be concentrating on emotes today. There's a fair few people who specifically wanted to do this who haven't turned up yet, so just kind of delaying just for a second just to see if we can get any more of them in. That's the case with me and headphones. I literally forget they're on my head. Just go out with them onto the market. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm not that bad. Obviously, these bad boys are wired to the computer. But no, absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. Just hope you don't get hit by a car because you just listen to the music. Yeah. Yeah. So, let's just quickly switch over to the main screen. Here we go. So, for those of you guys that don't know, again, I'm pretty sure most of you do know by now, these are a quick selection of my emotes. Okay, so these are different emotes which I've created for Twitch channels all over the place. Ooh, that's a lot of them. It is a lot of them. This is actually probably, I don't know, less than a quarter of the amount I've probably done this year. To be honest, like, I've done so many, absolute, like, ridiculous amounts. If I go through my computer, my files and everything, I must have at least about 50 users, each with about 2 to 3, if not more, emotes each. Plus all the other graphics and stuff that I've done for people, so there is a lot of them, which is why I'm beginning to think I need to make an Instagram account with them. Not even all of them. Yeah, it's nowhere near all of them. But these are just like, these are some of the ones that I like the most. I think they're a lot of fun. They're quite bright and colourful and everything. Yeah, wow, that's a lot. It is a lot. It is a lot. Oh, look, it's a Wild Ollie. Hello, Corn. How are you doing, my friend? Welcome back. Saw you in Sarah's stream the other day. How are you doing, my dude? And thank you so much for the bit. Guys, go and check out Corn. Do it. Anyone want a free chibi? Sure. People, go and tell Starsome what chibi you want. He's dishing them out for free.
It's time to play
wonderful.
The clip of the utterly
Shock.
invincible and totally complex love of your life, Geode. Get on it, Ollie.
What a surprise. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thanks for that, Corn. Oh, dear. Do a Harrison Ford for me. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Are you actually... I'm super into this. I want to see this Harrison Ford chibi emote. This is gonna be wonderful. It's not even if it's an emote. Starsome, if the Harrison Ford that you do is really, really good, can we put it onto the Discord as an emote, please? You know, I'm begging you, man. We need that emote. We need to have this as an emote. It will need to go in the shrine. It will need to go in the shrine. It will need to go in the shrine. But, you know, I want us to use it even more than that. I think it's going to be wonderful. Dan's in with the pancakes. Yes, Darsum, do it. Do it. Thank you for lurking, Dan. Super appreciated. Super appreciated. Tell you what. What? What are you telling me? Tell me. And actually, your little emo's down there, Corn. There you go. There he is. Well, mouse wants to work. There he is. The hype Corn himself. But yes, go ahead. Do tell me. Never mind? Okay. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, all the knuckles. All the knuckles. That's the funny thing, actually, of all the emotes that I've ever done. Mine, I've literally put probably the least effort into. I think, compared to everybody else's. But yeah. Also, it's kind of a fun time to do this as well.
It's time to play the
wonderful.
clip of the utterly
Shock.
invincible and totally complex love of your life, Geode. Get on it, Ollie.
Thanks, Corn. I don't know why to switch to this screen, but I'll take it. I'm on totally the wrong screen. Never mind. I mean, screw it. We're just gonna sit here like this now. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Never mind. That's where we want to be at. That's where we want to be at. And we lost all the chat as well, which is wonderful. Thanks, chat. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. Beautiful. Such beautiful. Thank you for the lurk, Park. Thank you so much. Yeah, so. Again, it's funny enough, people who actually really wanted to do this haven't turned up yet, which is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, we've got loads of them here. I've got a fair few for Scotty. We've got some for Balagor. You might actually recognize a few of these. If obviously people know Bad Cats. Bad Cats is there. That one is for Susie. So is that one and that one. Mamba, who is often joining us on a Wednesday night now for the drawing games. This is one for Mamba, which he hasn't actually uploaded yet. Yeah, I've got loads. We've got Funk Monkey down there. Kaito, who's another member of the Mangoes. Corn's there. Savage Joe, who's popped in a fair few times. Haggis. We've got loads of wonderful people. Loads of wonderful people. Oh, yeah. What the hell is that? Yeah, what I was about to say. It's actually quite a, God, that is freaky. Senpai. Wonderful. Thanks, Dan. But yeah, it's quite an interesting time to do this, actually. The fucking Warriors, oh my god. Because just recently, you might have noticed this not only on Twitch. If you've been on Twitch for a while, or you're a creator on Twitch, you probably know this. If you're not, you probably don't. But they are starting to introduce follower emotes. So that means every time that you follow a channel, you get access to one emote. Which is why this is probably a really good stream to be doing now. For those of you that want to actually learn how to do this. Plus, I believe Twitch is not only introducing animated emotes, but they are also going to be allowing creators to store as many emotes as they want and then just switch in between them all. So let's say, for example, you had one stream where, I don't know, you were playing... Say, for example, I was playing KOTOR. I could have like 4 or 5 KOTOR emotes. I could then switch to Minecraft with Dan on a Friday. We could have 4 or 5 Minecraft emotes. I could switch them in without having them approved. We could go back to art, you know, during the week. I could switch in another load, which are just kind of like art emotes. All that sort of wonderful stuff. So, like, yeah, that will be happening soon, which is... If you're an artist and stuff like that and you want to get into this, now will probably be the time because people are going to start wanting emotes more coming soon, I would believe. So if anybody's interested in learning more about that, we will happily go through that all today. And if you want to ask any questions at any point, do that as well. But yeah, these are all mine. I'm also currently working on about 4... so I do a package for, let's say when I sell a commission, I won't just charge, let's say, normally about an average price is between £8 to £10 for an emote. Okay, so one of these graphics would be between £8 to £10. Obviously, it's a fully customized artwork. It takes a lot of time to do. I do an offer for 3 emotes for £20, which obviously means the customer makes a saving and all that sort of stuff. And I deliver them. I go through them step by step. I go through all of them, do all the line work for all of them, submit that to the client, see what they want, come back. If they give me the approval with what they've seen, or if they want any changes, I can go back and do that. I then do the line work and color, send it back to them, get the final go ahead, and then do the deal. So at the minute, you might remember that I've actually been working with Smirky and Steph. So that's Smirky Chip and GG Girl Gamer. So that's Smirky and Steph. They recently did the charity stream, which I did the artwork for their t-shirts and all that sort of wonderful stuff. So I'm currently working on their emotes at the minute. So I thought this would probably be a decent enough time to sort of like... I've been doing these throughout the day anyway, but because I'm halfway through them, this would be a good time just for me to like show off the basic process of what to do. So I'm just going to merge this up. So yeah, like I said, I normally start off with a basic sketch, move on to the line work, and then fill it in with the grey. Then I'll start to add the colour over the top, nice and simple. And they're a great way to make a little bit of extra cash. Even if you're, let's say, one of the younglings and you just want to do it for fun, you don't charge full rates or anything like that. It's a great way to make just a little bit of extra money, you know, on the side. If you're bored and you're going to be drawing anyway. It obviously takes time, which is why I don't... obviously, seeing like all of the ones which we saw before on the big example sort of thing, that kind of shows you, you know, why I don't particularly post much on stuff like Instagram anymore. Purely because this stuff takes a lot of time. I need to package it up. I need to get them resized. I need to make sure that the file sizes are the correct size to, you know, upload to Twitch and stuff like that. All that sort of wonderful stuff. You know, I need to get all the payment and everything sorted out. But if you're willing to put in the time and the effort to do it, you know, it's something which is really good and you can make some money off it. So, guys in chat, especially those from the Art Hub, have you ever considered doing any of this? You know, just for a little bit of extra income? Let me know. But I'll just quickly take you through the 4 which I've been going through today. So, Smirk and Steph are quite interesting because they stream together all the time. They actually kind of want a sort of like a mixed one for... So they're going to get 2 packs of 3 for 20 quid each. And then they're going to get sort of like a... sort of like a raid one, which is going to go on both of their channels, so to speak. So this is that one. So they're both going to have this emote. So this is a bit of a special case scenario. TJ, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing great. I love that emote. That's amazing. But yeah, we've got this one. So I've also been doing this one for Smirky and all this sort of stuff. And another one as well. But yeah, you can kind of see. I would try, but I'm on console. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah. So that all ends up being a bit sort of like this. Good, thanks. Just got back from the vets. How are you? I'm very good, TJ. Thank you so much for asking. How did it go at the vets in the end? Hopefully everything went all right. But yeah, there's some basic things that you want to go with. In terms of, you know, especially if you're commissioning, or if you're getting commissioned to do artworks, you know, especially emotes for a client, you kind of need to have a set thing in your mind. Because quite often, you'll have some kind of client who will come to you and say, hey dude, or hey, yeah, dude, what's the, I was about to say hey babe, that's not right, like, hey, I need 3 emotes, can you do them for me? You can say, yeah, here you go, here's my portfolio. I normally send them an image similar to this. I update it every so often to keep it fresh. And they come back to me and say, actually, they're really, really good. You know, go ahead. Like, what can you do for me? Quite often, what they will then do is say, but I don't know what I want. That is always what happens. So you almost end up being the flipping ideas expert. Dudette. Exactly, there you go. Dudes and dudettes. I like it. She's improving, thankfully. Now trying to convince her to keep the cone on until the next check in 10 days. Cone of shame, oh no. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, where was I? You always get a lot of clients, some clients will come with you, and you know this, art people, you know this from just, working for friends or whatever. Some people will come to you with exactly what they want, like exactly what they want. And some people will come to you with, let's say, no idea whatsoever, at which point you almost have to kind of like have in the back of your head stuff just to fire at them to kind of like get them to give you an answer. So I basically at this point almost have a script of what I fire back as soon as like somebody asks that question. Um, she's got a collar on too now. Try to keep the collar. Oh my god, I'm the one who would have no idea. And a baby sock instead of a bandage. Ooh dear, ooh dear. Well, hopefully she gets better soon. Yeah, all the best. I'm the one who would have no idea. Absolutely. Yeah, my cat's put a little shit with the bandages. That does not surprise me. Your cats are idiots. Like, honestly. They're almost worse than my cat. Bet was happy her healing so far. Nice. But yeah, so normally the way that I would fire this back to the client is very much a case of, okay, look, these images, these emotes need to represent your channel somehow. So you've got a choice, okay? Either if you've got a logo, if you've got a character in a logo, or for example, I've got Knuckles or whatever that's kind of like a meme in my channel, I would say to them, look, go with something like that. Or if you don't have, let's say, a proper logo, if you've got one of those logos which is like a letter or something along those lines, try and get them to come up with, I don't know, a favorite character, something that they play, some game that they play often. Do they want sort of like a caricature of themselves, all this sort of stuff, just to get the ball rolling. 9 times out of 10 they will go, actually that's a good idea, I'll go probably with I don't know, I'll go with the character. Alright, then your best option is to go, alright, yeah, cool, so we're going to go with the character, nice one. So you want 3, yeah? Normally what people would do is similar to what we've got on screen right now. We'd go with some sort of buzzwords which are often used on Twitch. So, for example, over there with Susie's, just quickly bring this up. Susie's, we've got Pew Pew because she likes to play a lot of shooting games. Rip is often, quite a useful one. Hype is obviously one which is just all over the place, just everywhere. Hype, 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 hype. Everyone seems to love hype. People like to do high, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, GG, toxic, high, all this sort of weird and wonderful stuff. So fire back a few of those. Have a list of, let's say, toxic is another one which seems to pop up quite a lot, or raid, lol, all this sort of stuff. Have a list of, let's say, 5 or 6 different ones which you can fire back at them and go, okay, normally people would ask for, that character doing something, funny or, cute with these buzzwords, something like these buzzwords. Again, 9 times out of 10, they will be able to pick from the list that you've sent them, and maybe they might be able to also pick something which, pops into their head when they're looking through these ideas. That gives you your base. Okay, so that's all pretty good. I didn't get any notification that you're going live, Ollie. Really? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? The bot in the Discord pinged everyone. Don't know what's happened on Twitch though. Oh well, never mind. Hi Mira, how are you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, first bandage she killed. After the op, she left the bandage alone after getting rid of the cone. I gave her chicken after popping the cone, so she still loves it. We got back from the vet once, and in the space of 15 minutes, our Tomcat ripped his bandage and stitches out. We didn't even get back in the car garage before having to go back for rebandaging. I love the fact that you've used my angry face with that. Thanks. Oh dear. She was so doped up after her op, she was still zonked hours after getting home. Pingy definitely pinged me whilst at the vets. Well, there you go. Yes, very sure. Hi, Ollie, and hi, everyone. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, if you haven't already, go and check out Mira's Instagram. I believe she's on the list of Art Hub friends. So if you ever want to check out these awesome Instagram artists, please go and pop them a follow. They are wonderful friends of the channel and all that lovely jazz. But yeah, don't worry, Miri, you haven't really missed much. We were just kind of talking about, you know, how the process often begins, especially with commissions and the way that people would quite often react when, you know, speaking about emotes and stuff like this. And just kind of like what to say back to them to kind of get a feeling for what they want and finally get an answer. Because everybody knows, like, honestly, customers are a pain in the ass if they don't know what they want. So managing to get out that information is really useful, especially when you're doing loads of these time and time again. You kind of need to, you know, you need to drag it out of them as quick as possible so that you can get onto your next client. So most of the time I have 1 or 2 clients at the very least chatting away in the background. So even if, let's say, I am working on 3 people's emotes at any one time, or I have like 3 slots booked, and maybe an overlay, I'll always have at least, if I'm able to, 3 or 4 interested parties more, just throwing ideas around and just saying, look, I can't do it this week, maybe not even next week, but feel free to throw ideas around, we can figure something out, that sort of stuff. So that's your sort of base. Yeah, as simple as that, really. I'm still trying stuff out, so my feed is not consistent in terms of style. Are you talking about your Instagram feed? Don't worry, Mira. Honestly, I think everybody goes through that. If you're talking about sort of like your Instagram feed or, you know, ArtStation or whatever, everybody goes through that phase. If you scroll back down through mine, I went through a phase where I was trying different bits and pieces out, and there was a while there where there just wasn't you could see a consistent style trying to come through, but it wasn't quite there yet. Yes. Dan, thank you for the lurk, dude. Appreciate it. Sorry for the context room. No, that's okay. That's okay. That's absolutely fine. No, that's it. That's what we're here for. We're here to discuss everything art. It's all cool. It's all cool. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Just view this as the stage that you're going through to try and discover your preferred style. Like, that's all it is. It's not a case of being inconsistent. It's a case of being experimentational, you know. And we all need to go through it, otherwise we never find our styles. I was quite fortunate that I kind of found 2 different ones whilst I was going through that phase. Maybe you will too. Who knows? But yeah, don't worry about it. It's all good. But yeah, so obviously, like I said, this is all, well, not all that I've done, but this is a fair few of what I've done over the last few months, and these are a few which I've got ongoing now. So what I will do is I'll quickly switch over to full screen capture. Yes, I like this point of view. It's a good point of view. It's a very good point of view. Okay, so these are what I'm working on now for Smirky and Steph. So honestly, what you really need to do in terms of your first steps, once you've got your client and everybody sort of exploration is not failing to find something, it's a journey. Alright, Dan. Alright. I like it. I appreciate it. And Mira, thank you so much for the 20 bits. That's amazing. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Guys, go and check out Mira and Dan. And check out all of them. Path's in there as well. Go, and Chansey. Go check everybody out. They're all wonderful people. Thank you so much for the bits. You know you don't have to do that. Yeah. So your first step, once you've figured out what the client wants, is obviously make sure that they're happy with it, make sure they're happy with the price, and get started on Photoshop or whatever program you're using. Now, most of this stuff is going to be pretty much applicable to any sort of program, any sort of image editor, whether that be Clip Studio Paint, whether that be Krita, whether that be GIMP. What's the other one? I think some people use Ibis as well. I'm pretty sure it's the same on Procreate. So as soon as you click on your new button, it will bring up your, your base program. All right, so the sort of like the new image tab. My recommendation is always make sure you save a load of presets. Save loads and loads of presets. So you can see here, I've got one for Instagram, I've got one for Instagram vertical, I've got one for Twitch, which is mainly for overlays, emotes, panels, stories, absolutely everything. So I always make sure I've got loads of those ready. So as soon as I open it up, I know exactly what I'm doing. Okay. For me, ooh, that's handy. Absolutely. Sorry my Wi-Fi cut out. That's alright, Starsum. Welcome back. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you can do that everywhere. Now, Path, I know you're on Photoshop, so all you would need to do in this case is if if I decided I wanted to do 980 by 900, for example, in terms of pixels, all I would need to do is create a name up the top there. I don't know, new thing, new one. Click on Save Preset, and that will just save it. It would add it to this list, and then it's there for you to use whenever you want it. So again, I probably actually need a few more of these, but yeah. I just click on emotes. Now you know. Now you know. Now, for an emote, personally, I would, obviously, you need to do it as a square, because all of these image files you can see from Twitch, they are all square shaped anyway. Alright, so you're going to need to do it in a square, so it needs to be equal number of pixels. That's fine. I would always recommend doing it with pixels as well, just to be certain. What expression would you like? Yes, Path, tell Starsum everything. So I normally go with 900 by 900 for an emote. Now the reason for that is an emote doesn't need to be a super large, super detailed piece of work. Alright? All it needs to be is it needs to be square, and it needs to be big enough for you not to have, kind of like janky pixelated lines. You don't need to go to crazy extents. I know some people do. I don't see there as being really any point. 900 by 900. Interesting. Yeah, so this is just for emotes. Alright. So, I do it 900 by 900. And the reason for that is, it gives you a high definition picture. Okay, when you save it to begin with, you get a high definition picture. However, if you make it too big, the file size will be too big. Mira, thank you so much for extending your sub. Through till August? What the hell? That's 2 months. Are you crazy? How big are your regular artworks? Okay, so if I go over to my document types, I've got my Instagram vertical is the one that I normally do. So that's 5,000 by 6250. Alright, so clearly they're a lot bigger. But yeah, Mira, thank you so much for the sub. That's amazing. You know you don't have to do that. But now you get to enjoy my emotes. Until August. What a time to be alive. What? Yeah. So my Instagram pieces, and let's say my painted pieces, they are at least 5,000 by 5,000 or 5,000 by 6250. I use 1080 by 1080. Yeah, that's the thing. Mine are mostly around 1500 by 1500. I tell you what, that's the thing, right? And this very much is dictated by your computer setup. So if you're using, let's say, a laptop, it's probably not recommended to go to this size, all right? Because it will need to be running that image constantly, plus all the layers that you use. Okay, so if you're using an older laptop, I wouldn't recommend going above 2000 by 2000 at all. My files are chunky as fuck. They are indeed. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going anywhere above 2000 by 2000 if you're using an older computer or a laptop, because the memory card and the GPU and all that sort of stuff, it just won't be able to consistently handle it, and you'll probably lag quite a lot. Okay, so just because I'm doing it this way, that's because obviously I'm doing this at a much more professional level at this point. I sell them as prints, all this sort of stuff. I use an armpit laptop. Beautiful. Beautiful. But yeah, this is basically the reason I've got it set as this. This is the exact size of an Instagram post, so that I don't need to trim it when I put it on Instagram. Plus, it's also the size of a print as well, but it's high enough pixels that will give a good quality. The thing is, if you go any further, like if you go bigger than that, you don't necessarily, you won't see that quality, to be honest. Especially on Instagram, there's no point. For if you're going to sell prints, obviously the higher resolution the better, but it depends on your performance. Looking at a tablet to hook up to PC and draw stuff is definitely onto my to-do list. DJ, absolutely, absolutely. Make sure, like, if you ever need any help with stuff like that, you can always put me a DM. Like, I'm always happy to help with stuff like that. Yeah, just hit me up anytime. Hello, Pace, my man. How are you doing? Lucius, thank you for the lurk. My files just measure 2 to 3 megabytes. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Again, if you're using an old laptop and everything, you don't want to be, pushing the GPU or anything. Apple is live. Bye. God's sake, Apple. She's now gone from streaming so late that I can't view her to streaming at exactly the same time that I stream so that I can't view her. I don't know what she's doing. Doing good. I'm doing good, my man. How was the rest of your Minecraft stream? I was there in the background, but yeah, had work to get done. Will do. Thank you, PC Game Specs. So shouldn't be an issue on that side. I'm here and late. Absolutely you are. Absolutely you are. Starsum sent it to you. I think he's gone to Apple. I think he's gone to Apple. I think he's had enough of me. Yeah. I think I'll do the simping over Apple. It's fine. Rose, welcome. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we haven't really been through much. We've just kind of gone through, let's say, from an artist side, how you would approach this if you were doing commissions and what to say to the other person. So, if you're interested in that, we can. Sozdad, you're alright. You're alright. Don't worry. Yeah, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, I'm happy to quickly run through it again. At this point, we're just kind of going through the very first step. Let's say if you were doing it for yourself. Alright, so you haven't really missed too much. Well, then I'll visit Apple too. There you go. There you go. By the way, guys, remember that you can have 2 tabs open on Twitch at the same time, and your view will count in both. So, remember that. Yeah. But no, don't worry, you haven't missed much. All we were just saying is that I have, on my Photoshop, just a load of these saved presets, which I've made myself, based on what I'm using them for. Again, this is pretty basic stuff, but it's really useful to, do if you haven't already. So emotes, I do 900 by 900. The reason being that it's big enough to provide a high quality image, but there's no reason to be any bigger than that, purely because, it's an emote. It's going to be a tiny size, and you have a file size limit on Twitch as well, which you need to take into consideration. So this is kind of the biggest small size that you can do, if you get what I'm trying to say. I'll rewatch the beginning, pal. Don't you worry. Not a problem. Me who's watching on phone. Oh god, Path, no! I usually have at least 4, depending on modding too. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now, your next bit that you want to do. Always do this by pixels, by the way. Alright, and we'll show you this later. Alright, the next things you need to do is pixel by inch. Okay? On some things like, for example, some programs like Procreate, I believe they call it DPI. Some programs call it PPI. Basically what it is, it's pixels per inch. Alright, so again, I know I'm running through stuff which a lot of people probably already know, but basically that is how many pixels the computer generates and your picture will have inside each of these, sort of like inside the file size itself. Alright, so yeah, inside an inch of this picture, so to speak, you're going to have 200 pixels in each of those inches. Okay, so that's really important. On any normal artwork, if I go back to my regular artwork, so I'll go back to InstaVertical, I normally have that set to 300. That is your print size. Okay, so if you wanted to print a poster or something like that, you would need to have at least a minimum of 300 pixels per inch resolution. In terms of an emote, again, purely for the fact that it's such a small image, you don't really need to go. I don't really even need to go this high. I like to have it this high purely because it just gives me just that extra little bit of oomph. It does not need to be 300 at all. Some people do it about 100. I choose to go halfway between, just do 200. Just because it gives a nice clean line, considering how small the image actually is. So, that's your basic principle. You start up one of those, nice and simple, and there it is. Okay, you got your square, and you can just start sketching on it. Yeah. So, you've gone to your client, you've decided what you want to do for your emote, or let's say you're doing one for yourself, you know what you want to do. Is anybody in chat wanting to do an emote, like, soon, and wants to, you know, have a look through what the process might be? Like I said, I've already got these fair few on the go at the minute for Smirky and Chip. Let's get rid of that as well. But yeah, I've got those already up and running for Smirky and Chip. But if anybody's got anything that you want to go through for, let's say, specific kind of emotes, let me know. But yeah, basically, your best bet is in terms of if people, most people go for either an animal or let's say a person or like I don't know, something like that. I'm trying to do mine. I just use everyone else's. Nice. It's pitiful. Why? What's gone wrong with it? Let me know. Obviously, a lot of people will make fun of stuff like chibis, right? Now, chibis are really interesting. I find them super kind of like, they're an interesting case studies. Some people like them, some people don't. Depends obviously on the style as well. But the basic proportions of a chibi are actually really, really kind of cool. And if you don't know what a chibi is very similar to what I've done with these two here for Susie and Honey Buns. So it's kind of almost kind of sort of very big face, you know, big old eyes, expression there, you know, this kind of proportions. My sister-in-law does chibi style. Absolutely, why not? But there you go, there you go. So you got the big old head. That's perfect representation, TJ. Well done. Yeah, big old eyes, big heads. Just to kind of, it's basically just to push the expression. Because obviously you can see here that I've done other ones. Now you can do more cartoony ones like this. The reason I tend to go more towards chibi-ish, thereby her. Awesome. I started doing a chibi style one, but I hated it, so I'm thinking of doing a bird dog instead. The thing is, you can kind of mix everything up. All right. Now the reason I bring up chibis is because the proportions are great for emotes. All right, because they've got such a big emphasis on the eyes. Again, I'll just kind of go over Susie's here. Got massive eyes, massive head. You know, and if you want to put like a writing there, you can do without getting too much in the way of the picture. So when you bring that down to a much smaller size, you can still roughly tell what it is. You can see all the way from there, right? Just how clear that still is. Chibi works well as Zells does have a massive head. Now you can see with some of these, okay, even me looking at this is a lot of the ones which you can't really tell are those kind of problematic ones for me personally as an artist, because I don't like doing very detailed emotes. I only ever do them when somebody is adamant that they want it, because the problem is you do a very detailed emote and nobody's going to be able to see what it is. For example, I've got, let's say, the Apex characters down there. That just looks like a blur of just like dark colors with some red text under it. You can't tell what that is. So you've always got to have in the back of your mind sort of like that these might look cool when they're at 900 by 900. Are they actually going to translate well into a Twitch chat? That's why I simplify mine. Too much detail lost. Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the thing, again, with emotes. Like, you have to think simple. And again, this is why chibis are so good. Like, chibi style is so good. It's because it communicates everything that you need it to and nothing more. Like, that's literally it. You don't need to have any more detail than what you've got on a chibi. And they translate really well into animals as well. So the proportions that you do on a chibi also translates well into animals in terms of, head shape. You can see what I've done there with bad cats as well. Alright, so this is the first one I did for bad cats. It's very sort of similar. You've got sort of like, the head shape is pretty big. You've got the big old eyes. You've got the smaller body coming in. And you've just kind of like, you got the arms doing whatever they need to do based on the pose. You can either do it facing left, facing right, or facing middle. I like often to do a mix of all three. So if somebody's buying an emote pack from me, again, you could probably kind of see this from the ones I'm doing for Smirky at the minute. I've got one facing left, I've got one facing right. And probably what I'll do, because he's actually bought three, I haven't started designing it yet, we will probably do one which is facing directly forward. And that means when it's in the Twitch chat, you can put them all together and they will kind of look cool together. You might have them all facing inwards towards the guy in the middle. You might have them facing outwards, And having one which is definitely face first is also cool for, let's say, there's things that Path does and stuff like that in my chat, for example. So, if you guys know when we do kind of like the youngling with the wings and stuff like that, or with the tentacles, can't remember exactly all of them, and with like when they're holding a fire, that's where like a front facing one really comes in kind of like useful. It's just about having fun. Just think about the kind of weird and cool stuff you can do with them and you'll be pretty much fine. But yeah, what I would tend to do if I'm starting is just the same as any other piece of artwork. Okay, I'll probably make reasonably big kind of brush with this, maybe about 15 to 20. Maybe a little bit smaller. Let's go with 15. Go with a grey. Just start plotting out the basic proportions. Alright, these can change. These can quite easily change. So, I've got no plan of what I'm actually doing here. I'm just kind of plotting stuff down at the minute. Chancy, thank you so much for the look. Appreciate it. Again, don't worry if you don't get this right straight away. It's all down to interpretation. But you kind of just want to build up the facial structure straight away. So we're just going to do a really basic one here. Just get them straight in. Map out where your eyes are going to be. Very easy. Maybe if you want to, map out where the ears are going to be straight away, so you don't have to worry about it later. Again, a neat thing which I do a lot, especially, and this goes for logos and stuff as well. Yeah, exactly, that's it. One thing that I do a lot as well, especially for on Twitch, is I often like to put like the headset and everything on it. That's always something which people ask for. So, monkey? I mean, I could do a monkey. I've already done Funk Monkeys, wherever he's gone. There he is. Monkey. But yeah, it's that basic kind of principle. So just get in that straight away. And again, one thing that I am currently going through at the minute, especially in terms of if you want to sell emotes, and I might bring this up a little bit later. I actually have, and this is where I'm gonna do this on Etsy as well. I've got kind of like a document which kind of has one front-facing basic emote in different poses. So like one might be crying, one might be angry, one might be raging, all this sort of stuff. One facing left and one facing right. And I'm eventually, especially for Etsy and stuff like that, I'm gonna start using that just as a template to trace over when I start doing commissions on Etsy. Or I want to, let's say, get loads of them done all in different styles, and I just want to make it sort of like much more quick to do. Again, I'll show you all that later, but that also will come in handy, let's say, if you're somebody who goes through emotes a lot and you want to change them a lot, have one of those files.
Ollie, it is time to do it, brother.
Oh God, Jesus
Put
Christ.
on the Knuckles hat. It is the way.
Is it the way though? Is it the way right now? Is this really the time for the Knuckles hat, my brother? It's not the way. It's not the way. It's not the way. Alright then, Sarah. Alright. I can interrupt the class yet again. Yet again. Here it comes. And yes, chat, we did get the Knuckles hat, and it is wonderful. It is wonderful. Oh, oh, are we there? Are we there? Yes, my brother. Oh god. Adding the text alert is one of my favorite additions. Yeah. Is that in terms of the in terms of the hat? It is beautiful. It is beautiful. Yeah, I kind of need to have a hat hype emote at some point. It's gonna be wonderful. Maybe that could be one of my animated ones when I get one. Maybe we can just have my kind of like my little Apple face, like the one that Apple did for me, just with a variation of hat, and we could just have hat hype underneath it, and it just switches between the hats. That'll be interesting. Maybe we'll get that ready for ages ago. Ah, Opal's bombing up your face again. Yeah, he does that. He does that. He does that. Yeah. So, don't worry about being too precise. You want to get this nice and circular to begin with. And again, this is cool because this can kind of work. Let's say you wanted to do kind of like, I don't know, a dog. All you need to do really at this point is you just need to change the ears around. And you're kind of like, you've got a dog, so to speak. Like, getting that kind of first head shape in is it's just super important. So, there you go. With a few lines, it's turned into a dog. It's nice and easy. Have to say, Knuckles' hat is the least itchy. Is it? To be honest, Sarah, when you've been wearing it for a fair few hours, it does start to get a little bit itchy compared to the other ones. Alright. So you can get that sorted. And straight away, if you want to, try and plot in those big old eyes. And again, just try and give them some form of expression. Alright, so let's say maybe I want to do a big old wink. Alright, this could be used for the dog as well if you wanted to. Could turn him into a dog. You know, it still works exactly the same way. And that's, again, it's the beautiful thing about sort of like the whole chibi style is that you can switch stuff around so much, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. Don't worry too much about the nose. You can add one in if you want to. It's not hugely necessary. And again, make those facial expressions big and bold. Right, so let's say I've got a big old smirky grin on my face. There we go. And you know, just because it's Path is in the chat, gonna give me a big old grey beard. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's wonderful. All right, but straight away, all I've done is that by now. Even if I zoom all the way out, right, you can still roughly tell what that is, especially when it starts to get coloured. You can tell what it is. Hello, Ollie. Hello, Apple. Apple, are you streaming right now? You took all my viewers from me. How are we doing, Apple? Welcome to the stream. Guys, if you haven't already followed Apple, please go and do so. There we go. Yes! Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And also go and check out the rest of the Art Hub stream team. These are all wonderful art streamers who can all be found inside my Discord. So go ahead and follow them, please. I'm wonderful, thank you. Good. Good. Thank you for the lurk, Dan. So, that's your basic start. Again, you just kind of be really simple with your line work. Make it look effective from far away. Alright? So, let's say, just got him facing forward at the minute. Maybe I'm just going to kind of animate him up a bit. Kind of what my hair looks like when it's, when I've not had a haircut for a while. Moving down a bit, maybe. And I don't know. Let's put the Knuckles hat on him because we can. because it's in fashion. It's very much in fashion. But yes, Apple, I was just saying, I find it funny that, you know, I complain at you all the time to stream earlier so that I can come into the stream, and then you turn up, and for 2 days in a row, you've been streaming at the same time as I have, so I still can't turn into the stream. Ah! Ah! Fashion, I know, right? I know. But again, you can start to see why I kind of do everything the way that I do it, right? So just keep on pushing it through. If you need to play around a little bit with your scale and everything, then just go ahead and do so. But again, always kind of just have in mind roughly what you want to do. I always find that putting in the face first is kind of useful, because you can always tilt it or whatever later. But yeah. So we're getting there. If you want to just scribble in some of those darker areas, do so. Remember as well, for a lot of expressions and stuff, and this goes for realistic as much as cartoon, but cartoon possibly even more, like, go big on the eyes and go big on the eyebrows. Because it really will start to give a lot of indications of what you're looking at, especially, again, when you start to zoom out. You can really start to see from far away what he's doing. So again, this is just me coming up with stuff off the top of my head. We're not going to make it too crazy. Again, if you guys are doing emotes in the chat, I know Rose, obviously you said that you are. Let me know how it's going. Let me know if you want to bring it up on screen. We can have a little chat about what you might want to do. All this wonderful stuff. You don't necessarily have to put in like a neck and body and stuff. It's not always necessary. Yeah, just getting in the body there.
It's time to play the clip
Wonderful.
of the utterly invincible and totally complex love of your life, Geode. Get on it, Ollie.
Thanks, Pace. It is beautiful, my brothers. It is beautiful. Guys, please remember to refresh those lurks as well. It really helps me out. Yeah, so. Oh, we've suddenly lost the pen. There we go. We should give Geode a knuckle set. Oh my god, yes. That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. It would be wonderful. All the knuckle set. So, you've got your basic kind of premise there. You've got your basic head shape. You've added in some big old eyes. And again, this is going to totally depend on who you're doing it for, etc, etc. If you want to, you can even kind of merge it all together. And the beautiful thing about, especially the frontwards facing ones, is if you want to add a little bit more dynamism to it, you can always just move the head round a bit. Maybe he looks a little bit more cheeky like that. I don't know. But what that has also done, by just tilting that head, is now that you've done the shoulders, you've done the head, everything's roughly, you know, how it should be, you can then start, if you want to add, I don't know, some form of hand. I don't know, let's kind of do a thumbs up or something like that. It's not the best thumbs up I've ever done in my life, but you get the general idea. Probably needs to be a little bit longer. So that's all nicely done. Let's cut in with the thumb there just a bit to make it obvious what it is. And again, make sure you're using your layers. Make sure you're drawing on different layers. Happy time zone bin. Yes, I'm all up for the knuckles head. Absolutely. Leah, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're doing great. How is everything with you? Today we are drawing emotes. And we're going through bits and pieces for people who, you know, want to learn a bit about that. Probably, I don't know if I'm actually going to put this up, to be honest, but yeah, it's just kind of like a little fun example. That hand is so wrong. Like, so wrong, but never mind. You get what I'm trying to go for. Again, don't worry about it if it... don't worry if it doesn't look perfect straight away, because this is just sketch work. You're just kind of getting to feel, you're getting a grip with what you're wanting to do. Yes, I'm all up for the Knuckles hat. Everybody's all up for Knuckles hat. Knuckles hat is most certainly the way. Alright, so let's say I'm happy with that. Got that sketch done. One thing that I would always do, and again, we go through this on a lot of the art streams, especially the painting ones as well. What I always do, once I've got this basic sketch done, I take my select tool, I make sure sample all layers is turned on, and I click around the outside. Okay, so you can all see all around the outside is now basically selected. That also helps because even to begin with, before you do any sort of like painting or anything, it lets you know if there's any gaps inside the line work. So that's also a really useful thing to do when you're actually doing the proper line work. So I'm just going to go through all of the gaps which I don't want to be filled in because they're going to be see-through. Click them all up. Now I have it set so that when I press on Command and E, this brings up the expand tool. Okay, what you can do is you've got everything on the outside selected. So this is the background. This is what we want to be transparent. I would right click and then you should have the expand option here somewhere. Maybe not. Hold on. It's because I've got it as a thing. It should be somewhere around here. But I think it is normally Control E. But there's an expand option. I can't remember where it is because I'm so used to using the goddamn... Is it in Edit? I swear it's in Edit. Edit, Transform. No. Well, that's freaking wonderful, isn't it? I can't remember where the expand tool is. Select. Select. Modify? Expand. There you go. So you go to Select. You click on Modify. You go to Expand. Expand it by 3 or 4 pixels. Right click and select Inverse. You've now got what you want selected. Okay, so you've got the character selected. And now what I try to do whenever I've done a sketch, so I just fill that in with a slightly lighter grey so that you can determine what is the character, what the emote is going to be, how it's going to look, and it gives you kind of like that opposite. It allows you to see what's going to be filled so you can plan it more easily. So, for example, I kind of like him like that. I can make him bigger. I can make him fill up the space more effectively. I can switch him around. And when I zoom out, again, you can roughly see what it's going to look like in terms of being a silhouette. Select. Thank you, Dan. When your draw style has natural sketchy gaps, it's okay. It doesn't matter. So does, honestly, that was very lucky. Mine, in terms of sketchiness, does as well. So you don't need to worry too much about that. Okay. So you've got him set up there. Maybe if you wanted to, I don't know. I would group
It's
that
time
together.
to play the clip of the utterly invincible and totally complex love of your life, Geode. Get on it, Ollie.
That was not the way. Thank you, Apple. Here we go. Yeah, if you wanted to, for example, if you group that up, you've now got that all together. You can resize it. So let's say somebody wants some words, or if I want to put, I don't know, hat hype. You could either just, you can write it like that, or you can sketch it out so it looks nice and neat. Geode really be sexy though. Geode do be sexy. He is rock hard after all. I'm so sorry, younglings. Yeah. If you are, let's say, not comfortable doing wording yet, exclamation point ban Ollie, get out of it. It's my channel. I can say what I want. If you are not comfortable enough to sort of like sketch wording, so you can kind of see what I've done there with Smirky's emote. I've got hype there. I've got lurk there. If you're not comfortable actually doing that yet, what I would suggest is go online and find some kind of font which you think kind of fits the emote style that you're going for. Especially if you're going to be doing, I don't know, some sort of wording underneath it. Now, I'm not going to say just go ahead and put in the text. Okay, so this is what you probably do. I don't know. What are we going to call it? We're going to put it... hat hype? Oh, no. Just hype. You can kind of... you just type it in with the text. Absolutely. That looks fine. Alright? Some people are happy with that. I like to go slightly more detailed. So let's say, for example, that is sort of like the style of font that you want to go to or go for. Alright? I would take that opacity down. Again, this is... I don't do this anymore because I'm quite happy with the way that I do fonts and everything. But if you really are struggling, instead of... and you still want to give it sort of like that nice drawn look, go around the lettering with your sketchy style. And basically just trace over it. Just for now. And I'll show you why in a bit. But this could be any kind of style. Doesn't matter too much. I'm just going to quickly just go over that. But yeah, if you want to go for like a specific feel or anything, and you want to get like something similar to a font, but without actually using that font, this is a great way to do it. So you go over the top there, you can then get rid of what's underneath it, and you've kind of got your, almost got like a sketched kind of version. And the beauty of this as well is if you, let's say you wanted to make some of the letters closer together, you might want to kind of, I don't know, bring the E in as well, maybe twist it a bit. You can do that as well. And after you've done with all that, you can also go ahead and should we put it like that? It's kind of just playing around with it, just trying to see where it fits so that the lines don't overlap too much. And get rid of that. It's looking pretty good. Do the same thing again with select. So select everything, including the gap in the P. Go to select, modify it, expand it by about 3 pixels. Okay, right click and inverse. Okay, It's not quite worked. I think there's something gone wrong with there. It's because it's got the gap there. It doesn't matter hugely. Alright, let's... just... You can obviously, you can do this as well if you want to. It's not too dissimilar. And let's fill that in with a similar color. With a layer behind it. Maybe I want that to be a bit lighter. I think it's a bit too dark. Let's line it up just a bit. There we go. Group that up together as well. And get rid of the text layer. There you go. You've got your text. And the thing is, if you then draw over it with your line work afterwards, you've then got something which looks as though you have drawn it. Because technically you have. Sorry, I left it in between. Emote looking good. Nice. Oh god, dad jokes are anonymous for you. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I could not care less. I am a dad who hates younglings without a child. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Exactly. Exactly, emote. What, as in you want me to write exactly? As in you want me to write exactly underneath it? Is that what you're getting at? Dan is just saying exactly over and over again in the chat, and it's making me nervous. But yeah, if you keep those two on separate layers, obviously, of course, it means that if you want to, you can move it around a bit. You can switch everything around if you want to. You know, don't know why you'd want to have it like that, but you know what I mean. Like, you can do all that wonderful stuff. Then, if you group them together when you are happy, you can bring down that layer just like we always do. My problem is that I can't draw bloody faces. What kind of stuff are you having a problem with? Are you trying to do it at an angle? Are you trying to... are you going for chibi style? Are you going for something slightly different? Again, if you're going for cartoony style, Rose, don't worry too much about it, because it's going to look... You're going to be doing, you know, things which don't look natural or normal anyway. If you want, like, let's say, if you're doing a certain facial expression, you want me to quickly come up with some sort of sketch for you to follow on stream, I'm happy to do that. Same problem, unless it's an animal. Zelda's bought me a book to learn, haven't started it yet. That's okay, it doesn't matter. If you've got a certain expression that you'd want to, you know, go through on stream, I'm happy to do that. That's absolutely fine. I guess it's just proportions, even in cartoon styles. Absolutely, absolutely. And proportions is something which is tricky. Okay, but honestly, if you want to go through a certain facial expression on stream now and how I would go about it, do feel free to say so. So on top of a new layer here, I'm just going to kind of start just putting in some of this line work. You know, you may need to make sure that your opacity is on full for this. I like to go for, you know, depends on what kind of emote I'm doing. Sometimes I do emotes in a much bold style. For this one, I'm going to do it slightly smaller. As I'm a dude, I've got slightly hairier eyebrows. So I like to add a little bit of hair tuft over the side there. And again, like, if you've got specific questions, don't ever be afraid to ask. I was going to do a sweary style one, so I guess angry face. Okay, cool. Ollie! Hello, MZ, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing great. Guys, if you haven't already, go and check out MZ as well. But shout outs all round. We haven't shouted out Zelts yet. We haven't shouted out MZ. We haven't shouted out Rose. All the shout outs. Uh, yeah, go check out MZ. Go check out Rose. Go check out. Obviously, Tej is in here, so we'll shout out Zelts as well. Zelt. Sec. There we go. There we go. Good, thank you. How are you? Love the Knuckles hat. The Knuckles hat is most certainly the way. It is most certainly the way. Uh-huh. It's wonderful, right? It's amazing. It's amazing. And you know what? Chat didn't even reach the tip goal. They didn't even reach the bit goal, and I still bought it anyway. Yeah, give me a second here. Rose. I'm just going to pop over to Photoshop screen for a second. Oop. I just want to go through, because I do have some examples up. And this is what I was talking about earlier, in that I kind of have like a basic kind of chibi outline sort of file, which I'm more than happy to share. I think I may have a angry one actually in there. Obviously, we can go through and do another one as well. Alphabet, sure. Emotes. Basic emote. Right, okay, so. This is it. This is sort of like. It's something I've been working on for a while. Okay. Not got it all perfectly right yet. So I start off with this. Okay, as a base. I've got sort of like the proportions here. Okay, it's great for sort of like practicing and stuff. I'm not sure. I do have an angry. Okay, so yeah, this is the basic angry one. And again, this is kind of chibi. All right, but this is kind of the basic principle you want to do. You want to kind of go for really rough lines around the mouth. Make them kind of angry looking. Make sure those eyes are nice and big, but really angled down. So instead of having the eyes kind of be like that, you definitely want to have them painted down. Use lots of really angry straight lines kind of thing. Going to be in and out whilst finishing work and houseworking. Houseworking? What are you doing? But see what I mean? Like, you can kind of get those in a bit like that. With the mouth, kind of, you can either, I know some people just kind of do the angry kind of anime looking mouth. If you wanted, you could kind of change these to, I don't know, you could do an exclamation mark, you could do a dollar sign, whatever it is, you know, the random signs and stuff like that, which some people do. Angry eyes, got it. See what I mean? Like, and again, really focus in, not only around the eyes and the mouth, but for an angry pose, really focus in on the contours in the face. The face is going to be really screwed up, right? So you're going to be able to see in the middle there where the brow is going down. You're going to see where the eyebrows are facing down. Really go in with a lot of these kind of really fierce lines. Stuff like that. So what I'll actually do, so I'm going to bring up QRF for you. Give me a second. I'm just going to switch over to Photoshop again. Let's make a little snip. And then Control R V. There we go. What I will do for you, Rose, is I'm going to leave this up on the screen. So if you want to come back to it and you kind of copy it whilst we're going through, you can certainly feel free to do so. I might need to move it every now and again. Yeah, I guess it's more harsh and straighter lines for that, isn't it? Absolutely, absolutely. So that's, again, this is sort of what we call, I forget what it's called. I did a whole flipping stream on this. kind of like artistic language. So the way that you present a line, if it's very curved, it's very soft. If it's very straight, it's very forceful and angry. All right, so always keep that in mind whenever you're doing any kind of artwork or any kind of line work. Curves always sort of are much happier, much softer. Straight lines are always a lot colder, a lot more angry. All this sort of stuff. No, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Nope. But yeah, just go straight in, similar to the way I've done it before. Like, go straight in with your head shape, then straight away plot in those eyes. Make sure that those eyes are straight in there. Make sure that they're level with the ears, and go from there. See what you can fit in from there. For me, I'm doing a winky face, so I always like to make sure the line is very kind of bold. Bold. I was going for bold there. Not quite sure what happened. And that's just because obviously on the first eye you're gonna have open, so you're gonna have one thickness of line. Of course, when an eye closes, it's gonna be two of these. It's gonna be the top lid coming together with the bottom lid. Therefore, realistically, the line is gonna be thicker because it's two edges coming together. It's just all little things like that which really make stuff begin to pop. Whoa. And don't forget to Control Z all the time. Yeah, one of the best things you can do, like in regards to faces and stuff like that, if you're really unsure, is go on to Pinterest. We've actually got quite a few of these on our Discord Pinterest, and type in facial expressions. So I'm just going to type that in there. So that's our Pinterest. And if I bring it up on the screen, hold on a second. So that's the Art Hub Pinterest if you want to come and have a look. We've got a load of these in the facial expression folder. Alright, and these are really, really useful, especially for emotes. Because you can kind of take these, use the references, and kind of try and plot out in a kind of cartoony way roughly what the faces are doing. So, for example, again, you can kind of see with a lot of these. You see what I mean about the eyes, what I was speaking about there with like with the lines being much bigger? You can very much see it there with her squinting her eyes. With the angry face, her eyebrows are much sort of flatter. They are a lot more kind of straight. The mouth is a lot straighter as well. When it's a lot more happy, you've got a lot more circular stuff going in there. The eyes at the top there, like the top eyelid is much more circular. The eyes are very bright. The eyebrows are much more curves, all this sort of stuff. So definitely go through. I love that one down the bottom there. That's amazing. But absolutely go through, because we've put all of these up for a reason. We were doing these as a part of the study groups for a long time. Got Evergreen there. She does some amazing faces. She does some seriously amazing faces. But yeah, go through all of these, and if there's something that if there's a pose or, something that you're trying to get across in your emote, these are a great way to do it, because they are kind of doing exactly what we're doing in the emote, especially for a face, like a facial one. Purely because if you zoom quite far away from these, you're still going to understand what is going on visually in the picture, similar to what you're trying to get across in your emotes. Path, what on earth is that? Copy this. Do I wanna? Do I wanna copy that? Do I want to copy that? I knew that Discord, that Pinterest would be useful for something at some point. Again, this is why, again, a lot of these facial kind of studies were really useful, especially for cartoons, because they just kind of make you think about what to make stand out in different areas of the face, depending on what the expression is. I don't like it. I don't like it. Has anybody got any ideas for emotes that they want to do? Like, obviously, I know a lot of people do a fair few at a time, and you know, a lot of people want at least 3 on their channel to start with. Has anybody got any ideas? Even if you're not doing them today, have you got ideas of what you would like to do, what you would like to implement? With these, I always try to make the neck kind of dip in slightly. Just give it a little bit more movement. Oh god, that didn't work. Now, I probably won't leave the beard like black. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh god, it looks like Mario. Oh no. Oh god. Maybe I might come back to that later. We'll see. I don't always have the beard. But again, that's something which I think people shouldn't be afraid to do. If you circle something which you're not quite sure about, like for example here, I'm not quite sure about the moustache, there's nothing wrong with cutting it onto a new layer, alright? And just getting rid of it until later so that you can, if you decide you want it, you can use it. If you don't want to use it, you can get rid of it. So on an average kind of piece, whether that be emote or anything else, I always have at least 3 or 4 layers, which are things which I've tried out, which I'm not totally sure about. Instead of just erasing it completely and then wishing I hadn't. Oh god, sex offender emote. Absolutely. I mean, look at me. Isn't it obvious? Nothing wrong with a good sex offender emote. Do not clip that. Well, that's me cancelled again. And again, with a lot of this sort of stuff, like, I'm just going to go ahead and draw what I know is there behind. Even just like over the top of where the thumb is at the minute. Just so I can get that nice shape, and we can always erase a lot of it later. Art people, if you're still here, are you working on anything different in the background? Let me know. It's always fun to know these things. I love how like Knuckles has turned into a very angry boy on my head. Again, guys, if you've got any questions at all, do not be afraid to put them in chat. And just keep coming out. Get rid of the sketch underneath, just to make sure your line work is all looking good, and see if there's anything you've missed. There we go. And try your best to work with your layers as well, just to make sure you're not overdoing anything. Was trying to play some Horizon Zero Dawn, but had to assist the Zelt. Wanted to do a bit more paint by numbers today, but got a stiff neck. Have you been doing it too much? Have you not got a good enough chair? What's going on? What's going on, TH? What happened? And what does Zelts need doing now? Come on. He's a big boy. I'm sure he can fix himself. Oop. Missed that. Sorry. There we go. Most of yesterday. Ah, okay. Fair enough. Wonderful. He needed assistance with his costume for Saturday. Do I want to ask what his costume is for Saturday? I might actually, just whilst we're doing this, let's take the opacity down a bit, just so I can concentrate on the actual thumb a bit more. Ghostbusters. Okay, that's cool. Any particular reason, or just because of the lols? I mean, it does sound pretty glorious, I'm not gonna lie. He's also playing Ghostbusters start to finish. Ah, okay, that's cool. I don't even remember there being a game, to be honest. I'm also hearing a lot of banging outside, so I'm not quite sure what Zera's doing. Let's get rid of this. Just erase that underneath. And that's why I like to turn the opacity down, just so that I can be clear what I'm erasing. There's been a few. He's picked up a remastered one to play. Okay, nice. Nice. Sounds cool. We will have to pop in at some point. Let's try and not let those lines meet. I think he's looking pretty good. It's not bad. I'll probably go back and I'll add the bit a little bit later, to be honest, because I'll probably do it in a different colour. See, starting at 12 AM. Thinks it's a possible 8 hours gameplay. Okay, nice. Nice. Saturday. That will take us up to about 8 o'clock. That's okay. I think I should be able to pop in possibly halfway through, if not just a little bit later. Hopefully. Because 12 noon is normally our, our go to the supermarket and grab as much food as we can time. So yeah, that's all done, which is cool. And then I can go over the top and I can get the hype stuff in. Sorry, Ollie, not feeling good today. Gotta go now. Hope you have a good stream. Good night, all. Pa, thank you so much for popping by, my dude. I hope you feel better. Yeah, and let us know how you are in the Discord tomorrow. Best wishes to you, buddy. Feel better soon. Hopefully catch some clips too for anybody that misses it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm actually thinking potentially I might, even on my channel, start like taking what clips we've got and just like putting them on TikTok or something. Just to get the damn thing rolling. It's an easy enough thing to do. I have literally nothing for TikTok. I've got the profile and literally nothing there. But here you can kind of see what I'm talking about in terms of you've taken a font and you've traced it, and now you can just kind of do whatever you want with it. Just kind of use that line work that you've already done. You've almost come up with your own font here. You're welcome, dude. See you later. Thanks for dropping by. MZ pops hers to TikTok, I think. Usually with a little bit of extra editing. Absolutely. Get on TikTok, man. People keep telling me to do so. It's just such a hassle to edit. I've got enough with commissions and streams and YouTube and Instagram. Like, all needing different stuff. But I know I should, and people keep telling me to do it, and I keep putting it off. But if it's stuff like clips, which is already edited, like, I was gonna go through the very first Gartic stream Gartic phone stream that we did, because it was just chaos in a stream. And I was gonna edit each single game that we played into, like, TikTok videos. But just life. Just life. Nah, it's easy peas. Are you sure? Bear in mind, I have a very high demand on myself for perfection. I am very much a perfectionist. It all takes a lot of time. It does. It does indeed. Are you very sort of like active on TikTok, Rose? Because obviously I know a lot of people are. So just similar to when I do the line work, I then go in with the same principle. I go in, I highlight all of this space, I expand it so that it doesn't actually meet the line work. So that's the reason I expand it, so that none of these pixels get taken up by color. Inverse it, and then in a layer in behind, I then create gray. And that means it's going to make it very easy for me to paint on top of it later. Me too. The actual editing and stuff is reasonably easy. I mean, I'll try it. I will try it. Yeah, I post a lot, but not for art stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, half the time, the art stuff is what takes ages. Okay, so obviously I've got him now. as he is, okay, which is pretty cool. All right, and obviously I've got the slogan in front as well. Okay, now the one problem here is I would do the same thing again. Okay, so I would go through, I'd select all the bits which, you know, are not on the outside. All right, but of course I've not got a line going underneath there. So my process at this point would be, because either I want that bit to be filled in, I want it to be coloured, whatever else. What I would do is I would go back to your brush, I'd make it super small, still have it black, turn it down, maybe to about 3 or 4, okay? And on a brand new layer, I would then start to kind of like try and figure out the shape that I want that to be. And if you need to edit it a bit, that's all good. So kind of do it a bit like that, let's say. And I'm not going to merge that down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that as it is, like that. That is going to act, especially if you remember I've got sample all layers turned on. That is going to mean that all of the layers which are currently visible are going to be applied to us selecting. Which means, if I do it like that now, that bit is deselected. I can then turn off the line, and it will colour that bit in for me. Okay, so I'll do it a bit like that. Get all of these little areas in, which I don't want to be done. Expand it a bit. Always double check, zoom in just a little bit, and double check to make sure everything is filled in. So some of these sharper areas need a bit of extra selecting. And I think the other side seems to be pretty good. So we're okay there. Alright, and once again, we'll make another new layer, put it underneath, make it a lighter colour, so sort of like a grey. Oh, sorry, invert it first. Colour that in, there you go. You've now got your basic emote. Yeah, I post a lot, but not for art stuff. Yeah, I guess you gotta make the content for it. Mine is just my ugly mug. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I could... And the thing is, like, especially with the artwork, if you want to be on art TikTok, you need to make art content and all this sort of stuff, and it kind of becomes a little bit... On top of making all the art and streaming it to people and posting it to Instagram and this and that and the other and keeping on top of commissions, it's like the last thing I want to do is then go back to the artwork again or back to the streams again and edit it into a video in order to post to get a few followers. It's just not worth it. If it was just like funny clips, I don't have a problem. Like, that's gonna be pretty easy to do. Hello, Cosmic. How are you doing? Welcome back. How was your stream by the end yesterday, by the way? I was there lurking in the background. I had to bully Glorious for a bit because that's what I do. But yeah, I hope you're having a good day. Each. And also, Rose, how's your angry emote coming? All right, so this last bit which I've come into now, this will come into its own later. All right, but the basic principle is now all that stuff is grey. All right, it's not going to mix in with the background. Okay, so if I want to start colouring stuff, I can create a new layer above it. Okay, just like that. I've just created a brand new layer. I'm not going to do a clipping mask. There's no point in doing that. But because that is now all grey, if I was, for example, to select this shirt, okay, I've now got the grey area, okay, and I can just fill it with whatever I want. So if I wanted to do a red t-shirt, there you go, bam. It's in behind the line work. It's above the grey. It's easily selectable. All that wonderful stuff. Sort of coming along okay. Nice. If you want to share it at any point, do let us know. If you don't want to, that's fine. It went well, minus Streamlabs being a bully. Had a raid and met some new peeps who are equally as weird. That's wonderful. We do enjoy weird people in this community. Weird people are most certainly do it. To be honest, I normally wear a white t-shirt, so that kind of works. I either wear a white t-shirt or wear some sort of football top. So, I mean, I could do one of the football tops in the back, but This isn't necessarily going to get used, so. Okay, so just going to go through, and for every single different part, I'm going to create a new layer. And again, this is very similar to, let's say, for every color, I'm going to create a new layer, let's say. But this is very similar to sort of like my comic-y style, which you quite often will see on Instagram. I'm going to do these base layers kind of quick. Let's make it more of a peachy color. Kind of make him pop. There he goes. But I'm glad you had a good stream, and hopefully it got you back feeling a little bit better. I'll share when I've done, or when I at least think I've done. I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure it'll be great. I'm just going to delete, or let's say erase, some of the skin tone, just because I want to keep these. I want to keep the line under the eye kind of open. That's just like, that's not something you have to do. That's just kind of like a style preference for me personally, especially with chibis. I think it looks a little bit more kind of anime, having that line kind of semi-fade out. So yeah, we've got the t-shirt, we've got the skin. Let's do the hair next. Let's get the hair in. But yeah, we are studying. There's a bit of a change. We're studying emotes today, Cosmic. So it was good comeback. It had all the points: friends, stream failures, and good art progress. Absolutely, and the artwork looks great as well. I did keep popping in to have a quick look and see how it was going, and it does look great. Because you're doing that traditional as well, aren't you? You're doing a traditional version, and you're doing a traditional version, and you've done a digital version, haven't you? I believe. From the top of my head, I might be totally wrong. Again, same thing as always. Select it all up. For the eyebrows, I personally, again, this is a stylistic choice. What I do for the eyebrows is I take whatever color I've done for the hair and I darken it slightly. But this, again, is totally a personal choice. You don't have to do that. But again, you can see what I'm going for. You've got a very simple design. When you zoom out, you know roughly what is going on. You can tell that's a cheeky boy with a hat on. He's happy. Let's start putting in some of... In fact, let's put this down here. Let's start putting in the knuckles as well. So that's straight in with the red. Yes, it's watercolor. I just started the outline digitally. It's not cheating. She reminds herself of the one college professor. Oh, screw the one college professor. We're very big advocates on this channel of screwing old teachers because they don't know what they're talking about. Don't worry, your secret is safe here. Oh. Let's get in that nice fun red. Why is it not getting in the nice fun red? There we go. Hey Ollie, sorry I was on painkiller duty. Chancy's on the couch now, blanketed up. Wonderful. Don't worry about it, Dan. It's all good. It's all good. I hope she feels better. Yeah, Linda. Screw you. Absolutely. No one likes Linda. No one likes Linda. Did you wrap her as a burrito? Oh, God. Oh, God. Let's get the eyes in as well. I'm going to put this on the white layer because it's the same color. So that's in. Again, don't try and go crazy with the different colors. So, for example, if there's any white, for example, keep it on the same layer. Hug the Chancy burrito for me. Yes, do it. Hug the Chancy burrito. Also, the eyes can be on that layer as well, because they're white as well. I might actually change the t-shirt color, because it's a little bit boring. Let's make the Knuckles nose, the Knuckles eyes, and my eye. I always tend to go for kind of like a very dark purple color. Like a very, mid-saturation, very dark purple color, and that just helps it not be pitch black. I was really interested to see how you used the color on these. Yeah, so don't worry, we're not going to stop here. This is kind of like, this is the base, okay? So obviously you guys, again, you've seen my basic emotes. You can see there's a lot, wherever they're gone. These emotes, there's a lot more coloring yet to do. Okay, so this is my sort of shaded style. Don't worry, I'll take you through how I do that in a bit. Again, we'll put on another layer. So there's going to be a lot of layers in this coloring process. Again, this is very similar to how I do with my normal comic sort of style. Okay, so here I'm going to change the eyes so Knuckles actually has. And again, you notice I'm going to do this all on one layer. Okay, for the eyes. This will become sort of apparent in a minute. So I've got sort of like, I've got green to kind of yellowy brown eyes. So I'm just going to kind of go in with a reasonably dark color there. So that kind of works. Oh yes, Dan with the weird Pepe the Frog eye pointing emote. Sure, why not? Why not? And Knuckles, the man himself, has kind of got a very dark blue. There he is. Nice. Eyes. Yeah, so the reason I've done that as its own sort of, oh, he says he's actually made a mistake there. Never mind. Hold on. Hold on. Let's just get down to a different layer. That was my bad. Mistakes happen, guys. Mistakes happen. Don't worry about it. Right. There we go. So just for the eyes, I like to make sure that they are underneath this white layer of the eyes, and that will become apparent in a minute, right? So because this is underneath, the blue is underneath the white, whatever I do isn't going to make much of an effect above. Alright, so for these sort of blue eyes, I can quite easily just add in a little bit to highlight. And do it like this so that it doesn't have any effect on what is going on in the light or the white layer above it. Okay, and that just adds a little bit of dimension to the eyes. I tend to go around, and this again, this is totally my eye style. You can do it however you like. You can be as complex or as kind of like simple as you want with this. This is just the way that I do it, just to kind of add a little bit more detail. Methinks I will sneak off to bed. Thanks for the stream, Ollie. I will catch you tomorrow. Absolutely no problem, Dan. Thank you so much for popping by again, my dude. Yeah, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Tuesday. Tomorrow is COVID jab day. That's what tomorrow is. Woohoo! We're getting there. Just gonna also go up one more level and just add over the top of this an even lighter kind of color. Just to kind of make things, again, really pop. You don't need to be too worried. But again, you can kind of see it makes the eyes sparkle a little bit more when you zoom out. So I'm going to do the same on myself. It's very caricature-y, it's very cartoony, but when you zoom out, again with emotes, you're always trying to think of what looks good zoomed out in a very small image. It's a nice, simple way of doing it. And we'll take that up, just like light color as well. Again, on its own layer. There we go. So, because we've done that directly onto the blue and onto the green, that is all one layer. Okay, and it's directly underneath the white layer. Okay, now the reason I'm going to do that is going to be, you know, seen in a bit. I'm just going to quickly color in that last area there. which is kind of like his muzzle kind of thing. So again, I'm going to expand that. And it's kind of like a peachy, yellowy kind of... It's kind of colour, I'd say. Something like that. Kind of similar. It's kind of similar. I think it works. I think it works. Okay, so that's all done. Alright, so what I will then do is I'm actually going to merge up all of these white layers. Alright, so I'm going to merge the white layer, the eyes layer, and the pupils layer. So this kind of black pupils layer. So that they are all one. Okay, so when I go over it like this now, you can see the eyes specifically, that's what you want to be focusing on. Very much kind of one layer. And you can also do it with the teeth as well, because they're not really attached. I may come back and change the t-shirt color a little bit later, so I'm just going to cut these onto a new one so that they are one. But yeah, that's how I would do that. Okay, now to get this kind of effect, let's go into dinguses. Alright, so this is the emote which Dingus did for me. Oh, sorry, Dingus did for me. I did for Dingus, okay, back in the day. The way that I get this kind of darker color is by using a multiply layer, okay? Most artists will use basically sort of like a deepish kind of purpley color for this. So I'm going to go over, and for those of you who don't know what a clipping mask is, a clipping mask is basically where you create a layer over the top of, let's say, we've got the hair layer here. Okay, if I create a layer over the top of that, I right click and I create a clipping mask, which is right there. So right click it, create clipping mask. What this allows me to do is when I draw over that layer, you can see only stuff on those pixels underneath on the layer below it are actually being affected by that color. Okay, so I do it like that. If I release the clipping mask, it looks like a scribble. Alright. So, what I tend to do is I go through and I fill each of these layers, each of these clipping masks, which I keep making, with the same kind of purpley color. So I'll create the clipping mask. And again, you'll see me quite often on stream going through and doing stuff like this. Okay, the only difference being that I normally do it using the shortcut, which I believe is Alt. So I create a new layer, I hold down Alt. You can see the cursor's kind of changed. And that just does it automatically without having to right click. I'm going to go through and I'm going to do all of that. Okay, there we go, that's all of them. Now I'm going to go through, and by holding down Control and clicking, I'm going to select all of these layers all together. Okay, so I've got all of the purple layers which I've just clipped on, all selected. I'm going to switch the mode, which is this thing here, to multiply. And what that's done is it's basically taken the original color underneath and made it darker by mixing in the color which you've added on the top, which is this kind of purple. Then by modifying the opacity, I normally take it to kind of like a 30, but you can see it dictates how much it darkens the color at the bottom. Okay, so for an emote, normally I would kind of do something around a 25 to a 30 mark. Okay? And that way, I've now got that clipping mask selected. So I'm currently on the layer which is the purple. I then switch over to my eraser tool. I can play with the size if I want to. And just by erasing stuff, that's how I kind of get that sort of like popping look onto all of my images. So you can see that is exactly what I've done here. I've got that as the base sort of like color. I've added a purplish looking clipping mask over the top in a multiply layer, and then I've gone through and I'm actually erasing basically the bits of the face which are popping out. Okay, And that kind of gives it that form. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to do that on this as well. Just very quickly, I think the brush is being a bit strange. So let's change that. There we go. So it's nice and smooth. Let's add in around the nose as well. Maybe get in some of this stuff in around the ears as well. Again, don't go too mad with it. Just kind of suggest where the light would hit different areas. Okay, so say on the ears, stuff like the ears, like the light is going to be hitting the outside of the ears. The nose is at the forefront of the face, so therefore I'm going to erase that darkness on the face. Look at that cute little lolly. I know, right? It's fun. It's very fun. The top of the eyelid, because it's a closed eye. It's always a good one to do as well. And I always like to do a little bit on the chin. Again, for me, I like to just kind of, as well, this is totally a personal preference, I like to give the edge of the jaw, and this is the same on like men or women, and even on animals. I do the same thing on animals as well. I like to just highlight it and make it pop a little bit just by going around the edge there. If you want to add a little bit up here, you can do. It's not always totally necessary. Maybe in around the side of the neck. Something a bit like that. Okay, so you're just removing the darkness and kind of adding light. And the reason that I do this is that I like when light hits your face, it actually brightens the color of the face. This is the best way I can explain it. It's not the fact that your natural skin color is what it is in, let's say, vacant light, when it's in sort of like neither dark nor light. The thing that brings out, and you can see this on my face at the minute, I've got the lamp over there, and you can even see it on the hat. The bits which are at the forefront are, let's say, these bits here, which are poking out. They've got a lot of light on them. They are on my cheeks. The cheeks have got light on them. That is what builds form. Okay, so what a lot of people do is they make a color and then they shade it. I take the opposite approach. I take a color, I then put it all in shade so it looks like it's one color, and then I highlight the bits which are being lit up. There you go. The bits which have become lit up by making it that natural color. If I want to add a little bit of extra lighting, I can always add that in later. But that's the basic principle of why I kind of try to do that. Then just kind of try and put in these areas using, again, the eraser tool, because I'm getting rid of the darkness to make things pop rather than adding light or adding dark. There you go. Suddenly it kind of looks a bit more like it's got a little bit more form to it. Makes sense. Yeah. Add a little bit to the earlobe as well, because that pops out a bit. And there is nothing to stop you if you want to. And again, this is something that I often do, is going into that skin layer again, okay, adding another layer underneath it, so that is also clipped. So that will still only make any sort of like changes onto that skin layer. Using that same purple color I did before, if you want to, you can go in, let's say underneath the places which are pure dark. So let's say underneath the nose, there is always going to be a certain amount of shadow. Inside the ears, there's always going to be a certain amount of shadow. Going in with that purple again. Colouring it in. Maybe you could potentially do it underneath the hat in this circumstance as well. just under where that hat is, and maybe just underneath the neck. Even if that is all that you do, you don't necessarily need to do all of it. Because again, a lot of this detail is going to get lost when you make the image smaller anyway. Okay, so got that. If I want, I can turn that to a multiply layer as well. I like to turn that to about 50-ish. And it just kind of adds that little bit of extra depth if you so want it. Okay? And you're going to be using the same principle on all of the layers. Alright, so I'm going to go to the Knuckles hat layer. Alright, so the red bit here. I've got the multiply layer selected. I'm going to make sure the eraser tool is selected. And I'm going to make the areas which would pop out from the light pop out using the eraser tool. I could go around the edge again if I wanted to. Kind of put in these circular forms just to kind of insinuate to the viewer that there's some sort of, you know, roundness to them. Same on the other side. If I want to go around the edge again, I can. Maybe in on the eyebrows a bit. All you just want to sort of think about is, where does the light pop? What is the furthest bit switching forward? You don't need to do any crazy lighting with emotes. There's no point. You just want to make it very, very clear about what you are sort of like, what is forward, what is backwards. Spawn, thank you for the lurk, dude. Hope you're doing good. Guys, if you haven't already, go and check out Spawn. There we go. So I've got quite a lot of light coming off the top of my head there, so I might as well put it in. Okay, so again, if I make it invisible, that's what we've got. With that multiply layer, it's just got that little bit of added depth. Okay, now the reason earlier on that I made this layer here all as one, okay, this is where that comes into its own, because now that I've got that multiply layer on, what I can do, it's basically, it's multiplied and it's made darker the entirety of the eyes. Okay, now there's always a shadow underneath the top eyelid. I normally put that in just to make it look as though it's a little bit more kind of, you know, round overall. All I do is I take that eraser up, and there you go. You've got a little bit of shadow straight under the eyelid, and it's affected all of those layers. It's affected the blue, it's affected the pupil, it's affected the white. I am the post office. Thank you for being the post office, Reg. I hope you were delivering letters well today. Yeah, that is the basic principle of that. Okay, so it was all a little bit of a jumble, but you can now begin to see what I'm doing with it. I do the same with my eye, okay? And it's just another way of adding a little bit of extra dimension to what you're doing. Thank you for the lurk, Reg. Do whatever you like with the teeth. It's not always... Just kind of make it so that it looks kind of cool. Again, just how much that pops. You've gone from flat white to it looking a little bit more shaped and rounded. What do we got next? Sorry, that's what we are on. There we go. Alright, next we've got the t-shirt. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this as white or not. I might change it. Who knows? With this area, similar to the face, I'm just going to kind of erase what would be the areas which are the most round. So I'm going to insinuate that there's arms just by like erasing little semicircular shapes in there, and then kind of like maybe a bit of a chest shape going on there. If you want as well, you can add or take away, let's say, just little areas around the folds if you want to add a bit of extra interest. Again, you can see it really starts to make everything pop. It makes things look kind of cool. What are we on? We're on the last layer, which is top of Knuckles. Now, and honestly, not going to do too much here. Let's kind of erase all of that. Just again, using those round sort of shapes to show where the muzzle is, and that it's kind of like a rounded area. Of course, the underside isn't going to get as much light as the top or the front or wherever you want the light source to come from, so don't worry too much again about where the light source is coming from with this sort of like style. Just kind of try and get it in. Try and make it just look as though bits are pointing out and bits are a little bit further back. It's totally down to you. So that is your basic principle done. Okay. What we also need to do, the last bit that I often do is the hair. So the reason I left the hair till last, I did a first sketch out of what I sort of want. Okay, nice. And I don't hate it. There you go. That's the spirit. And the thing is, Rose, like, you can do it now, but if you just keep practicing and you just keep updating your emotes every now and again, like, you'll eventually start getting better at them anyway. So, you know, you can just update them. You can redraw them. Because they're quite small and simple, they're a great kind of practice tool. So for hair, I like to make the hair have a little bit more of a movement inside it, so to speak. I want to make it have a little bit more texture. So I tend to do, I kind of select, instead of just going in with the erase tool, I kind of use the select tool to kind of draw out the texture, make it kind of smooth and cool. Then erase it by pressing the backspace, deselecting it, and you can kind of see what we're going for there. We kind of got little areas which have been cut out. MZ, thank you for the lurk, but I'm glad that you're happy with it. That's super good to hear. So he's really beginning to pop. If you were doing a female, you probably can't see it on any of the examples. Can you see any of the examples I've done before? Let's zoom out and have a look. Yeah, so on the female, what I would often do is I'd go in, I'd put in some eyeliner just to distinguish it from a male. All right, so that's quite often what I'd do, just adding some color on top of that. And for a male, you can't really see it on Warhawks from here. I would not put the eyeliner in, but what I would do, and it might be more prevalent on one of the other ones, maybe on Balagor's here, you might just be able to see there around sort of like the muzzle, sort of around the bottom of the face where you would find the facial hair. What I do is I go in with sort of like a very blue, sort of a very desaturated blue on a very low opacity on a really soft brush, and I'll show that in a minute. And I sort of airbrush it in so that it looks as though the skin is a little bit more tougher. And what that allows me to do is distinguish really clearly between male and female. And this goes the same on all of my character designs. You will always see on the females that I put the eyeliner, but there's no distinction in color down the face. But on the males, there will always be sort of like there will never be anything on the eyeliner. It's almost the opposite, but the color starts to come in at the bottom of the face. Oh, that one is super cute. The female with the eyeliner in the heart. Yes.
It's time to play the clip of the utterly invincible and totally complex love of your life, Geode. Get on it, Ollie.
Thanks, Mamba. Hello, Ollie. Hello, Mamba. Actually, speaking of the devil, your one actually showcases what I was just speaking about quite well. So, underneath the eye, I've not put the eyeliner, because obviously that's only for the females. I've kept it, you know, vacant to show that it's a male. But around the beard area, I've kind of really gone in with the blue, and, you know, very much kind of made the beard and the muzzle sort of look very a lot colder, or let's say a lot more dry. Mamba, how are you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing good. Guys, if you haven't already, go and check out Mamba, the latest member of Team Mango. Go and say hi when you can do. But yeah, dude, we are going through and we are going through the theory. Well, I say theory. We're playing around with emotes and we're having a little lesson and discussion on emotes. So I'm going to take my own advice here. I'm going to go through and I'm going to select this airbrush. Okay. If you are using normal Photoshop, you're going to have something, you know, something similar. I use this one because it's a little bit more airbrushy. You can probably find it online somewhere. If I take this all the way down to about 3 or 5, maybe about 5. Oh, good man, just vibing out as per usual on the features in the stream. Or, you know, it is the way. It is the way. You can see I'm just starting to add in really lightly some darker color. Okay, it doesn't look very prevalent now, but if I take it out, you can see just how much like that adds. Okay, and of course it is totally the opposite to the female because there's no eyeliner. So a lot of artists struggle, and sometimes they say that, oh, my men look too feminine or my girls look too masculine. For me, that is the way to kind of do it. It really helps, you know, distinguish between the two. Some people do it with, you know, straight lines and curved lines. I find that, you know, it can work, but if you color it in the same way, if you color the two genders in the same way, it sort of kills that anyway. So I suggest always doing it with color. Yeah, so that is that. That would be the last thing I'd probably do on the skin. If you want to, and I do this again on female characters a lot more, you go for kind of like a deep red with, again, this kind of really soft brush. Okay, if you put in little bits of red in around the cheek, top of the ears, on the nose, maybe some on the... I often do some on the fingertips as well. Again, it kind of just makes things a little bit warmer. If you want to turn down the opacity a bit to make it less obvious, you can do that as well. Okay, again, this is much more prevalent for female characters because it really brings out sort of like the blush. Male characters, it works well to make the skin warm, and you can vary that color depending on the skin color as well. And oh my god, you got the Knuckles hat. Yes, I got the Knuckles hat. It is wonderful. It is beautiful. It is 100% amazing. Also, Mamba, you probably didn't know, but we've changed around the hat things slightly. So I'll just give you a little example here. We now have sound alerts with the hat. Oh, that's not the one. Hold on. Where is it? Where's it gone? Here he is.
Ollie, it is time to do it, brother. Put on the Knuckles hat. It is the way.
It's wonderful. It is wonderful. But yeah, that's probably the best I can say about that. Like, it's a really useful tip. I would really recommend that you have those little bits and pieces in mind when you're doing any kind of character, really. Because obviously there's a lot of character design that goes into doing emotes, because you're trying to portray the person streaming, whether that be yourself, a pet, a game character, anything like that. Oh my god, I'm going to abuse it when I have the points. It's wonderful. Yeah, each hat has now got its own little sound effect. So, yeah. Play around to your heart's content. So, we've done that. That's looking pretty good. I'm unsure still about the t-shirt color. Maybe what I'll do is I'll change it later. We'll add in the text just for now. Just trying to make sure that it doesn't interfere too much with anything. Now, with your text color, this is again quite simple. All you need to do is go through in the same way, add a new layer on top of the gray, select it all up, expand your selection, and go for whatever color you want. I recommend that you go for a color which works with but is totally different to what you've already got on the screen. So in this example, I've already got a lot of red based on, you know, the facial color and the fact that he's wearing a red hat. Maybe go for kind of like a green, go the opposite sort of spectrum. Just to make it proper stand out. Okay, and again with the clipping mask, if you want to. I don't do the same thing in terms of the multiply layer on this, but I do like to kind of do something similar to what I did with the eyes. So I take up the color to much lighter. And I'll go back to this kind of color here. Sorry, this kind of brush, rather. Just kind of play around. Just we're making it shine a little bit. Like contrasting colors? Absolutely, absolutely. They don't necessarily have to be contrasting like on the wheel, so to speak. You know how a lot of people use color palettes based on the color wheel and all this sort of thing. I'm not that fussed about that. I would say that this could be either blue or green, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't have a problem. The reason I'm going for green here is because that also contrasts nicely with the eyes and, well, the Knuckles' eyes and my eyes as well, to be honest. But yeah, the basic principle is that it contrasts well. Okay, just to make it stand out. So that is the main point done. Alright, we don't need to worry too much about any more of that. Okay, so done all of this. I'm going to group it all up into a new layer. So we've got me in there, and we've got the text there. Okay, we can take out the background as well if we need to. That's what we'll do towards the end when we're saving. Okay. Could you go orange possibly for this example? I would, to be honest, orange I wouldn't go for because it would work technically, but I believe the orange is too close to red, so therefore it might get lost, especially when you zoom out. So if I zoom this out, you can still distinguish between the text and the Knuckles, okay? Because it's a totally different color. If I was to, let's say, change it orange, see what I mean? It kind of blends in quite a lot. Okay, so you could go for a green, a blue would work, a bluish purple might work, because again, it's still quite, you know, it's still a little bit different. Orange, I think, orange and pink are too close to the red color, which I picked before. So that's why I'm going for green, to be honest. Because again, the thing with emotes is they become really, really small. The information that your eyes and your brain take in is a lot less than at this sort of view. Okay? You kind of need to make it very clear, and this is why, again, right at the beginning, obviously you missed this, Mamba, this is why stuff like chibi-style art works really, really well for emotes, because the facial expressions are so big and so bold that it is easy at a long distance, at a very small image size, for the brain to understand what that image is trying to portray through the facial expression, etc. Okay, so it's all about being big and bold and kind of, you know, making things pop. So, yeah, that is that. Now, what I would do at this point is I would start duplicating these layers. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate both of these layers just so that they're separate. And I'm going to keep the old ones for later, just in case I make any mistakes. Okay, so I've got, in there I've got this folder, which is the hype. In this folder I've got my dude. Okay, what I now need to go in and do is at the bottom here, we remember that we had this grey layer. Okay, so for you guys again who have missed it, it's no problem if I just group these up. I start off with something which looks like this, okay, and then I've added the layer on top of it. What I will then do is on that grey layer, I will take it all the way down to black or whatever colour your line work is. Okay, so if there's any dead pixels inside the colour which you haven't seen, it will now stop it from appearing grey underneath if there are any dead pixels, and it will make it the same as the line work colour, which means that it now looks as though it's part of the line work. Laughs in I'm drawing chibis. Wonderful. How is your Harrison Ford chibi coming along, Starsum? How's it doing? Alright, there we go. So that's done in the background. And I'm going to do the same here. Again, we've got that colour, which was originally grey. If I turn it black, it means that any dead pixels, which we haven't coloured in through the select tool, because the select tool always sometimes kind of misses pixels, so to speak. I think it's okay. Nice. It always misses pixels, so this is just a way to kind of make sure that any of those dead pixels don't appear as grey or whatever colour you've used underneath and contrasts too badly with it. I can then merge them up. So I've got my two different layers, I've got my text layer, I've got my picture layer. Of course, I've duplicated them so that I have them later if I need them, which is great. If I make any mistakes and stuff like that. Okay. The next bit that I would probably do is I would actually duplicate this layer. Okay, and I'll do this for both of them. Alright, I'm going to duplicate them twice. Alright, so you can see down the side there, I've now got 3 of these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the ones at the bottom. And actually, I'm just going to hide this top one. Okay, I'm going to go to my adjustments, go to hue and saturation. I'm going to turn that black. Like completely black. Okay, and I'm going to do that for both of them. Okay, and I'm going to do it for the one at the bottom there as well. You can see that just turned all the way dark down there. There we go. So those two are now underneath. And if you're lazy and thinking people won't notice that there are white dots after you use the selection tool, people will notice. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. So I've now got these two black ones underneath as well. Okay, now the reason I've done this is that this is our main sort of layer. Okay, what I'm now going to do is to make it really pop, and I'm going to do the same with the text tool in a bit. I'm just going to get rid of it to show you. I'm going to go to the blending options on this black layer in behind. Okay, and probably to make this clear, I'm going to get rid of this as well. If I go to the blending options, this is what pops up on your screen. Okay, so you've got your layer style. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these two here. Okay, so I've got 2 stroke sets. You'll probably only have one if you've never used it before. But what these do is they add an outline to the pixels which has already been drawn. Okay, so for example, I click on this one. This should be my white one. Might be purple at the minute because I used the purple. That adds a crisp outline around the outside. Okay, you can make it whatever size you want. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, whatever. Okay, I'm happy enough with that. Okay, and that's just not editing anything that I've done on the first layer. Okay, so if I add it back in, there you go. I've now got a layer in behind which is making a white outline. Okay, this, for me, I like to do quite a lot on emotes, purely because it makes the emote pop a little bit more from the Twitch background. So if you've got dark mode on Twitch, you'll know what I mean. It comes up quite grey. You don't have to do this. This is a personal preference. But let's say, for example, if I go over to, not this one, if I go over to Bad Cats emotes, that dark cat colour, that kind of dark bluish colour, is going to really struggle to stand out on the dark background of Twitch. Okay? Having that white line going around the side, and I'll actually try and find him in here. There we go. Having that white outline really makes him pop. Alright? You can see that there. I've just put that in the chat. It really makes it pop from the background. So that, again, is a personal choice, but I'd recommend it if you are using very dark colours, so that people can actually understand, again, at a long distance away, where the outline is in comparison to the Twitch background. Okay, so this is quite bright colours. I don't necessarily need to do it. I'm going to do it anyway, because I just kind of like it.
It's time to play the clip of the utterly invincible and totally complex love of your life, Geode. Get on it, Ollie.
Thanks, Tidge. Coffee break. Wonderful. Wonderful. What I should have done is I should have given him the drawing glove as well. I really should have done, shouldn't I? Maybe I can just draw that in on the top quickly. Oop. Let's do that. Let's do that very quick. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Let's just take these off as well. And so if you want to make any edits, just go onto a new layer and just draw around that existing line work. A geode emote next with uwu eyes. Oh my god, Jesus. Jesus. I mean, I could. To be fair, you guys were quite close to that. Like, my next emote was at 50 sub points, and we got to... I know I've said this a few times the last few days. The next emote slot is 50 sub points, and we got to like 47. So if we'd actually got a little bit further, you may have actually had one. Yeah, let's just quickly put that in. Let's take him up a bit. Let's add a little bit of a dark blue to that. I'm not going to bother with the sort of the whole clipping mask and stuff on this. I'm just going to kind of go based on what I think would work. There we go. Petition for a Judo emote, please sign right here. Oh god, but which one's it going to replace? Probably Revan, to be fair, but... There we go. It's got his nice little glove on now. It's all nice and handy. Right, yeah, there we go. So, we've done that. That looks all good. We've got the outline. Okay, and what I'm going to do, just so that I can get rid of it down the bottom, I'm gonna merge it with a blank layer. That means that this is all one layer, and I can actually erase what's underneath, so I can get rid of the bottom line down here. And that just kind of suggests to the viewer that that might be the bottom of the image, but it's not the bottom of the actual person. Okay, just by doing that. So it kind of suggests that that white line doesn't kind of stop there, it carries on and goes down the page, so to speak. Bit here and there. Again, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. It's just a personal preference. Okay, we'll do the same thing again here with the hype. Bungus Fungus! General Bungus Fungus Obi. There we go. How are you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Okay, I'm going to do exactly the same thing here, so that hype in behind. It's going to be a new layer. I'm going to turn it totally black. Go to my blending options. And if I wanted to, and again, this is something I do quite a lot for my my other pieces, I actually add a very small, like a really small kind of black line around the side here. It's not going to work on the letters as much, but especially on like the cartoon characters, like I do add from time to time an extra black line as well, just to make the outside thicken up a bit more compared to what's on the inside. I'm happy with what I've done here, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. There we go. So he's all looking cool. I might group them all up again, just to keep them separate, because I'm going to just play around with that hype a bit and see if I can make it a bit smaller. There you go. He's looking pretty happy. Just to make sure those lines aren't colliding. Swagging. Of course you're swagging. You're always swagging. You are the Bungus Fungus. I mean, look at you. Look at you. But yeah, dude, I hope you're doing great. Then on that final one, what I like to do as well, so I just like to move it out slightly. Play around in behind. So you kind of got this black in behind it, and then I like to turn the opacity of that right the way down to about 15. That just kind of adds a little bit of shadow to it, which I think is kind of cool. And that is pretty much it. The only last thing that I would add in this circumstance, so if I go for a pure white, so I just add some white dots to the eyes, maybe also to knuckles as well, just to make him really, really pop. And there you go. So you've got that. That is your basic emote. But of course, we're not quite finished yet. I finished the chibi. Nice one. Do put it in the hub and we'll have a look. Look, thank you so much for the lurk, Cosmic. Really appreciate it. But yeah, that is your basic emote done. I'm not going to bother about the beard. Well, I'm not going to bother about the mustache. I might put in the beard. Let's have a little play with the beard and see if I can put in the beard at least. Does that kind of work? I think that kind of works. I don't want to make it too prevalent, but that kind of works. Turn it down a bit. Sure. Yeah, there he is, which is great. Now, we're going to take out that background layer. We're going to make it invisible. Okay, and we are going to pop down a save. I'm just going to quickly pop into Photoshop Capture for this. So this is your basic emote. I'm going to save it just whilst I'm here. So let's do this as emote stream. And I'm also going to quickly pop that onto the desktop. Give me a second here, guys. Stream emote. Is it gone? Where's it gone? There it is. Oop. File Explorer's being an ass. Come on, File Explorer. Behave. Be good to your master. Ha 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 ha. There we go. Nice. Okay, so that's there. That's worked well. So, switch back over to full screen. Okay, so I've got that now saved on my desktop in a little folder called Stream Emote. Okay, that is the PSD file there, which is perfect. So, what I can now do with this emote is I can actually the PSD file is there just in case you want to make any changes later. That's all fine. It's saving this exactly as it is. I'm going to save this straight as a PNG. So I'm going to go ahead and try and find that again. There it is. I'm going to change it to a PNG and I'm going to call it, I don't know, emote HD. I normally put this as HD because this is the highest quality image. Okay, so what I'm doing at the minute is I'm saving it in its 900 by 900 state that it was in before. Okay, right at the very beginning of the stream, you remember we went through and we said 900 by 900 is a good size to save it for HD. Normally Twitch will accept 900 by 900 with 200 pixels per inch, which is good. But sometimes the file sizes can vary depending on how many like effects you've got, how many layers, all this sort of stuff. It's all good. This should be fine. Okay, so that is saved there. If I bring it back upstream, there he is. Okay, he's happy. To be honest, we could probably upload him as he is. Okay, but for the sake of, let's say, you guys who want to sell them as packs and stuff, your best thing to do... Alright, it's on Discord. Nice one, Starsum. I'll have a look towards the end of the stream. What you probably want to do at this point is you want to I'm going to try shading your way. Sure, go for it. Why not? Take this PNG, okay, and open it in Photoshop as a new file. Okay, so you can see all of the sort of extra images and stuff, all the extra layers have gone. Okay, all you're left with now is one final image. Okay, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to resize these just in case, because there's two ways to upload an emote on Twitch. There's the way where most people do it, they just upload the base image, so to speak, so like the 900 by 900, and hope that it works. The other way to do it is you've got three different options, which is 220 by 220, 112 pixels by 112, 56 pixels by 56, and 28 by 28. These are based on what sort of screen you're looking at. So, for example, if you're looking at a big HD monitor, it will probably show up as 112 by 112 in the chat. On a normal computer display, it will show up as 56 by 56, and on a mobile, it will probably show up as 28 by 28. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go through and actually save your image and resize your image to each of these files. Okay, so I've got the main file. We don't need to worry about the layers or anything because we've put it in as the PNG file. So this is a totally new document. We go over to image. And again, this is probably going to be very similar on most other kind of art programs, so to speak. All you need to do, you go over to image, go over to image size, click on that, and you can see we've got our original size here, which is 900 by 900. Okay, resize it so that it is 112 by 112. Make sure this button is clicked so that it doesn't change the sample or anything. Leave the resolution as it is. Click on OK. You can see it's resized it to the proper size. That is now 112 by 112. So I'm going to pop a save down on that as well. Okay, it's popped up in that emote section. I'm going to change that to 112 in there. Save it, and that's ready to go. Would you do the same size of it? Should it be printable on t-shirts? So the thing is with these, Mira, is that because they are designed to be emotes, they're not designed to be printed. That's why I've done the 900 by 900 one, really. Because it's at a higher DPI, pixels per inch, I have had people who have taken the emotes that I've done for them and printed them on t-shirts, and they have been pretty good in terms of, quality and stuff like that. It depends on the sort of like the quality and all this sort of stuff of the print, to be honest. I was thinking of doing it with vector brushes. That's true. I mean, honestly, this is the reason why I keep all my PSD files on an external hard drive, so that if people come to me and say, hey, I want to put my emote on a t-shirt or whatever, I have the original PSD file, and if I wanted to, I could create a new file on a much bigger scale, potentially like 3000 by 3000 with 300 DPI, put the original Photoshop files into that without them losing any quality, resize them upwards, and you should be fine. You can save it the same way, and they should be all good. Emotes themselves, they're a little bit too small. The reason why we're doing this stream today is purely for emotes, but that would be the way that I'd approach if I was to put my own on my own merch, so to speak. Other people have just taken my 900 by 900 and it's been fine. So that's why I always save a HD version. And I always just give the customer the HD version as well. So if they want to do anything else with them, they can. I know a lot of other artists, they're a lot more stingy. They don't want to give them the stuff so that they come back for it, etc. I don't really care. I prefer to have a happy customer over, more money any day. Oh, you could without redoing it. Thank you. Yeah, so I'll tell you what, Mira, towards the end of the stream, I'll take a quick, I'll run you through that. Okay? Just for now, we're going to go back to this. Okay, so this is now 112 by 112. What you want to do, though, is you don't want to resize this one. Okay, because what this will do, this is currently 112 by 112. So it's already, you can see, when you zoom in, it's already started to pixelate quite a lot. You will then, if you take it down another notch, be pixelating the already pixelated images, which will just make a blurry mess. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go back. You're going to undo the resize, so it's back at full size again. Okay, so you're at your full 900 by 900. And now you would then rechange the image again. Okay, so what's the other one? It's 56 by 56. So 56 by 56. Bring that down. And of course it has pixelated, but not as badly as it would have done if it was, you know, pixelated again down from 112. So I'll pop down a save for that one. There you go, Emote 56. Back to my history. I'll go back to the original 900 one. And the last one is 28. So I will again go to my image. I'll go to image size. And the last one is 28. This one is going to be tiny. Alright. But you can see, like, it looks really blurry to begin with. Alright, but when you do zoom out, you can tell what it is. Vaguely. Alright, so that's the reason why you always do that. I'm going to take that one. I'm going to save it. Again, you can see them get progressively smaller. So this is 28. And again, you don't have to do this. Normally a 900 by 900 into Twitch itself will work fine. I like to play it safe, especially with commissions, and give the person the choice either or. So you can say, you know, if the big one doesn't work, try the little ones. They should be fine. Okay, so that is that. Now, because I do this a lot, I've actually got actions created to do this for me. Okay, so guys who have used Photoshop extensively before might have seen actions. Basically what it is I record everything that I've just done. And all I need to do, if I have this action tab open, is I want to have this at 112 by 112. All it does is it just does it for me. I click on play. There you go. I want to go back. I click on 56. I click on play. It does it for me. I don't need to worry about selecting it all, you know, putting down the size, any of this. This is just for my own kind of business purposes, just so that once I've done it, I can package them up really quickly and send them off to the customer. You don't have to do that. All you need to remember is it's worth having a 112, a 56, and a 28 version just for, you know, that use. Yes, actions save lives. They really do. And you can see there I've got the same for sub badges as well, because sub badges are a slightly different file size. They're a different image size. They've got different resolutions and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that is that all done. And then you can start to see in this folder, you've got your 28, your 56, your 112, your HD. I often send, and if you give me a second, I might be able to show you an example of this. Let's say I did this one for Rocker. I like to send also sort of like an example picture with it. Alright, so these are all the ones that I did for Rocker. So exactly the same. Like, I've got the HD one, I've got the 112, I've got the 56 and the 28, and I just tend to folder them up and then have an example piece which I can basically go to him and say, first of all, I would watermark it before I get paid, but once it's there, once he's paid for it, I include it unwatermarked so that if he wanted to share it on social media or something like that, he could just do so, and it's perfectly fine. Yeah, I think there was one more thing we were going to do, weren't we? Yes, so the last thing that we were going to do is, I'll just close this because we've done all that. All we are going to do, so we're going to just move this over here. This is our basic Photoshop file. Okay, so this is all the work which we've done. Okay, the images are a set file. If I created a new one, and this is for you, Mira, if I wanted to, let's say, make it into a print size. So my emote size is 900 by 900. My Instagram size, which is similar to a print size, it's basically the same. I've got 300 resolution and it's pretty big. If I create that, then I take what I've worked on today in. I'm just going to group it up, move it across. I can put it into here. It's obviously smaller at this point, but when I size it up into a new Photoshop file which is slightly bigger, it should not, hopefully, there you go, it's not lost any resolution because it's from one Photoshop file to another. You can save this, so for example I would save this, there we go, stream emote, save that as a PNG, and I'll say, I don't know, emotes for merch, so t-shirt print or whatever you want to call it. That will now be your 5000 by 5000 at 300 DPI. It will be all fixed and ready to go. It will take a little bit long to save. Go. There we go. So it's there. You can see there it's 5000 by 5000 compared to the 900 by 900. But, you know, everything is pretty good. Okay. Ollie, is there Team Mango picture I could use? I want to update my panels to plus the team info. Absolutely, Mamba. Yeah, so everybody who's in Team Mango, I think I forgot to tell you this to begin with. Everybody who's in Team Mango has got the same panel as me down the bottom there. So if you look at my panels, there's a Team Mango panel. I can send you that, and there's also the link tree which you can link it to, which has got all of our stuff on it, all of our Twitch streams and everything. Can we just appreciate how much of space he's wasting? Yeah, all right, Jesus. All right, next time I just won't bother teaching anybody, Starsum. How's that sound? Sorry, I didn't see before, but how do you make the white border on it? So the white border, I just go back to a grey background. The way that I make the white border, if I just get rid of all of this, okay, I duplicate my base layer, okay, and there is a simpler way to do this, but I turn it totally black, I bring it in behind the colored layer, I right click to bring up this screen here, this pop-up, I go to blending options. Again, I don't know if there's something similar on Procreate, but this will bring up the layer style box. And what I can do here is I can use the stroke tool. So the stroke tool lets me make an outline of whatever image I'm doing it. I can do it inside or outside if I want to. I can do the opacity. I can change the color. If I want to make it black, I can make it black. If I want to make it red, I can make it red. Okay, but that's basically how I do that. So hopefully that answers your question, Mira. Autodesk doesn't have that. Well, I can't really help you, Starsum, because I don't use I don't use Autodesk. There might be some way of doing it. Have a look on Google and you might be able to find it. So yeah, that is your finished emote. It's all good. And then that is ready. All of these will now be ready to upload to Twitch anytime. I would, you know, like I said, I would just, if I was working with a customer, I'd send this back to them. I'd, you know, show them it, make sure they're happy, zip it up. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on. There we go. I'd zip it up. Why that's done that like that, I don't know. But you know what I mean. I'd rename it, I'd zip it up, and you'd be ready to go. So yeah, hopefully that's answered all the questions and stuff there. I learned a lot of things today. Good job. That's what we're here for. Right, quickly, let's have a look at what Starsum has done today. Where have you put it, Starsum? Have you put it in Digital Art Tat? There we go. Nice. I love it. I love it. I will be stealing that and making it into an emote on the Discord. With your permission, of course. Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. Great job, dude. I like the blue outline as well. That's fun. That's fun. But yeah, guys, if you've got any questions other than that, probably best to let me know now. Because we are coming up very rapidly to the end of the stream. Yeah, if you've got any work that you've been working on that you want to show, do let me know now as well. We can fit that on. In the meantime, I'm going to have a quick look and see who is online tonight. Blue's on, Foxbox is on. Mamba is currently on. Oh, Dill's on as well. Did Dill's emotes and logo and stuff as well. Oh, I tell you what, I haven't rated Haggis in a while. So let's go and say hi to Haggis. Because I think it must have been absolutely ages. But yes, speak now or forever hold your peace, chat. If you want to bring anything up that you've been working on, please do so. There we go. Haggis, yeah, everybody loves Haggis. Haggis is the guy. I'm just going to pop over there myself just to play the ad. There we go. Yeah, so if you haven't already, please come along for the raid. Come and raid Haggis with me. Haggis is a wonderful friend of, the channel. He is one of the mangoes, and he's just got such a cool vibe. Such an awesome dude. He's also rocking my animations and emotes and overlay and everything like that in his channel as well. So please come over and say hi with me. And I will see you over there. But yes, guys, thank you so much again. We will be back on Wednesday for... What do we got on Wednesday? We've got the drawing games. We're going to be playing Drawful, so if you want to get involved with that, let me know in the Discord, and we will figure something out. Until then, guys, thank you so much. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time. Bye!